Welcome, everybody, and welcome to Day 2 of the World Cup of Hockey. I'm Bill McDonald. Alongside is Jim Fox. We are getting set for Finland versus the Czech Republic in Helsinki. We'll be telling you about that game in just a moment, but if you did not hear the result from yesterday, of course, Sweden beat Germany 6-1. The names that you would expect: Forsberg, Nylander, Sundin, Lindstrom, they all start. Olaf Kolzig was unbelievable in goal to start out, but really the floodgates opened up a little bit later on, and Sweden beat Germany 6-1. Let's talk about this game, though. Get to you, Jimmy. It's going to be Finland versus the Czech Republic. I think we expect a much closer game today.
There's no doubt it might be much closer. The situation that existed yesterday, well, the domination of the Swedes. Today you have the last two defending world champions. Finns won it in '95. The Czechs won it in '96. Both teams come in. It's interesting. In international hockey, you hear a lot of people talking about styles. Both of these teams want to play NHL styles. They have a lot of skill. At the same time, they feel, well, if they can get the puck to the net, drive to the net, that can work for both teams. You mentioned the NHL and the NHL style. Let's look at our Bud Ice NHL stars for today's game. We've got some great ones. Of course, you have to start with Jaromir Jagr. 149 points. Get that Penguin in there. Last year with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Peter Nedved, interesting there. He has played with Team Canada before, but now he's playing with his birth country. Roman Hamrlik played for Tampa Bay. Teemu Selanne will be performing in his hometown here this afternoon. Jari Kurri, he plays both ends of the ice so well. And Saku Koivu, fourth in Calder Cup voting last year. How about the two big names? Well, once again, you have this skill coming through. At the top of the list there is Jagr, but you have Teemu Selanne, maybe the most explosive skater in the entire world. He scores most of his goals because he just goes right by you. You see right there Selanne with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim driving to the net. He excels. Top speed, maybe the fastest. Then there's Jaromir Jagr. Maybe second right now in the entire world to Mario Lemieux as a one-on-one player, but Jagr, look at this. The great moves, the great strength, the great balance. But I think one thing that sticks out for Jagr, the will. He wants to perform. He wants to show off. Right. He knows he's a great one-on-one player, and he just does it. He makes it so exciting. Contrast the styles very quickly between these two. Well, I think they're pretty similar in that aspect as far as styles go. Again, they want to play the NHL style, which is use skill, drive it to the net. I think Finland may be a little small on defense, so if you get Jagr in a one-on-one confrontation, that may hurt the Finns. I think, again, the Czechs, you've heard the saying before, the Czechs' best defense is offense. They want to have the puck. Their forwards are great, their defense a little suspect. This is the World Cup of Hockey, the 8 countries and the best players in the world to see who's best. We have the Czech Republic and the Finns coming at you. He is being brought to you by Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light. Drink Bud Ice, but beware the Penguins. By Bauer, the original hockey company. Bauer, leave an impression. By the new Dodge, we're thinking ahead. And by the intense, slamming, wicked, headbang, and taste of dew. And welcome back, everybody, to the World Cup of Hockey. I'm Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox. Time now, though, to throw it to Helsinki, Finland for a preview of today's Game 2 of the World Cup of Hockey. Paul Romanek and Gary Green. Gentlemen.
Tell you what, guys, high expectations here in Finland looking at this team. Many saying that this is the finest team ever assembled to represent Finland in an international tournament.
Coach Kurt Lidstrom says, yeah, they are, without question. So he's not taking any pressure off himself or this hockey club. They've got good National Hockey League veteran experience. This is a hockey club that has been gelling and playing well together in exhibition games.
The Czechs also with loads of experience. Jagr, Nedved, just to name a couple, but they're missing goaltender Dominik Hasek.
But this is a hockey club, Paul, that's got tremendous speed. They've got size and strength. They're just now coming together. Jagr just joined this hockey club a couple of days ago.
And take nothing away from goaltender Roman Turek. They don't have Hasek, but Turek backstopped the Czech Republic to a gold medal at the World Championship just a couple of months ago.
All right, guys, we'll be back to you in just a few minutes. You know, Germany has got to be the underdog in this pool. They may not advance. So this is a key game, trying to get, of course, to that bye into the next round. You want to win your pool. And that's why I think, Bill, they're talking about experience with Finland. They're at home. The excitement will be there, much like Sweden yesterday. It's a small building. You have everyone going nuts. It may be the best team assembled for Finland ever. But they do have that experience. The Kurris, the Selannes, Koivu, outstanding international experience. So from that standpoint, maybe you feel the team will be a little tight.
a little nervous. I think one other thing they brought up, the goaltending situation of Czechoslovakia. Again, it's that confidence issue. Turek was outstanding the last 2 World Championships, but it's not Dominik Hasek. What type of effect will that have on the team confidence-wise? Going into a tournament where we saw yesterday, goaltending can turn it around.
We're going to take a break. When Jimmy and I come back, we'll give you the big schedule of the World Cup. We'll get you caught up on that. Plus, we've got some news from the tournament. You'll want to hear that when we come back after this. Stay with us, everybody. Let's get you caught up, as I promised, on the schedule of the World Cup coming up, and you might want to jot this down. Tomorrow, we will have Finland versus Germany once again here on the West Coast very early. Back east, you get it straight up at noon. Thursday, the Czech Republic and Sweden. Then we get into the North American pool. Finally, Canada versus Russia. Boy, what a grudge match that is going to be. All World Cup games live through the championship. Saturday, a great tripleheader. Germany, Czech Republic, Russia, Slovakia. And we finally get to see Team USA as they go up against Canada. We've got some news, by the way. The Canadians, Al McGuinness is out. He has an infection. He will not be playing in the tournament. Pavel Bure is out of the Russian lineup. But some great news, really, for Team USA.
That's right. Chris Chelios back in the lineup. Maybe the strongest defense going into the tournament without Chris Chelios. He played in the last pre-tournament game for the USA, so certainly with Chelios there, a big addition to the defense. The defense overall for the USA, the strongest because they have a great combination. Guys who play with skill, who jump into the play offensively as well as any team, but at the same time, it pointed out maybe by the example, the style of Chris Chelios, a guy who can, he can score goals. He can jump in. He has a great outlet pass, but at the same time, try to stand in front of the net against a guy like Chelios, try to beat him one-on-one, you can't do it. Great combination, offense and defense from the best defense core in the tournament.
Let's backtrack now and go to Al McGuinness being out. How does that affect the Canadians?
Well, maybe for the first time in the entire situation with this international Canada Cup, now World Cup, Canada is looked upon as having a definite weakness for the first time. It's at the defense. Now, McInnes on the power play will be missed by Canada. Defensively, he's pretty solid. It got down to the point where Wayne Gretzky was actually calling Ray Bourque, who did not accept the invitation to this tournament, to come in at a late moment. Just join the team right now. Bourque decided not to, so Ed Jovanovski, remember him from the Florida Panthers going all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. He's young, he's inexperienced, but he has to fill in for McInnes.
We'll get more on Pavel Bure. They've already got enough guns with Team Russia. Come on, they're such a good offensive machine, but more on that a little bit later on in the show. But coming up right now, we've got Finland versus the Czech Republic. Any last thoughts on this one coming up?
Well, again, I think the Finnish crowd will get the team excited early. It's up to the veterans of Finland, the Currys, the Solanis, to calm everyone down. The quick forwards, both teams. So you may see, much like yesterday's game at the beginning, back and forth action. After it settles down, that's when the game will be determined.
Jari Kurri, obviously, with a lot of international experience here, he should be looked upon as a leader.
He's a leader. He's a god in Helsinki, much like Teemu Solani, much like Saku Koivu. All those guys started with great international experience, World Junior Championships, onto World Championships, Olympic teams. And again, they're playing in Helsinki. You saw the crowd in Stockholm yesterday. It does create a buzz and an excitement. Again, it's up to that experience to get poised, get under composed, get the team settled down so you're not too excited when you're playing in front of your home crowd. Finland will play tomorrow once again in Helsinki, so they have that home ice advantage again.
In fact, Jimmy reminded me yesterday that Jari Kurri was part of that Finnish team that lost to the U.S. back in 1980, the Lake Placid miracle.
That's right. Not one of the great memories for Jari Kurri, but Kurri is the type of guy that is a statesman. He maybe fits the international game as much as anyone because he is a diplomat. Igor Larionov from the Russian team comes to mind. You have a guy whose stature just fills the dressing room. He comes in. Jari Kurri, you know him. He's a very quiet man, but he gets a lot of respect from his teammates.
All right, we've got to go out to the site now. Helsinki, Finland, and Game 2 of the World Cup, Finland versus the Czech Republic.
He has some difficulties here. He has to really get on his tippy toes. He asked just a few moments ago before you joined us whether or not he could have a box so he could describe the penalty. There you see the penalty to Dapita very early in this hockey game. The Finns putting on lots of pressure to start things off. That was Kurt Lindstrom's 100-year-old line. Ruutu, Helminen, and Kurri, who were bound and determined to get things started off right. There you see Ruutu being hauled down to the ice. Jari Kurri was also pulled down to the ice shortly after that, going to the net.
Ruutu, Helminen, and Kurri with loads of international experience between them. So Dopita is off for hooking. And Finland going in the power play. And look out, this is Jaromir Jagr taking off. Distinctive no matter what uniform he's wearing, hair trailing out from underneath the helmet. One of the most electrifying players in the game. And high expectations from Czech hockey fans. Offside called on Finland. Peter Nedved also out there for the Czech Republic. One of a number of NHL names you'll recognize in this game. Although Jari Lehtinen, not one of the most familiar ones, although he had a great rookie season with Dallas.
6 goals and 22 assists in his 57 games. He was the NHL Rookie of the Month in February with 4 goals and 12 assists.
A more recognizable name out there at center, Saku Koivu.
Big things were expected of Saku Koivu this year in Montreal this past season, and he delivered.
Off the faceoff, peeling in, Lehtinen got his shot and didn't miss by much. Jari Lehtinen breaking in on the left-hand side. Here comes Hannu Virta, number 23, up along the boards against Hammerlick, trying to get that puck in front. Lehtinen looking for it. It rolls around. Hammerlick trying to force his man back of the net. Puck hopping around. Lehtinen looking for a bit of room. Koivu has it in tight along the wall. Koivu lost that puck, and it is flipped down the ice. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in the power play for Finland. Great jump by the Finns in the offensive zone.
It's their building, Paul. They've got to come out very early in this hockey game and score.
Teemu Selanne clears it up there. Juha Rihiarvi, number 29, up after that puck. It comes around to Selanne. Selanne couldn't get it out in front of the net. Puck bouncing off of Jari Kurri, who was given a rub along the boards there by Joseph Baranek. This is Lume. Jyrki Lume will start out. 38 seconds to go on the man advantage for Finland. Robert Long there to break it up. Just feathering the puck up along the boards. Stanislav Nechkash handed that puck away. Rihiarvi up after it. Forging his way down into the corner, looking for a bit of help from Ulanen. Kurri up there looking for it. Couldn't quite keep it in. It just hopped over his stick there at the blue line. 12 seconds left in the power play for Finland. Pass comes up ahead. Nieminen in over the blue line. Offside called on the Finns.
Jari Kurri is such a great addition to this hockey club. Not only is he good offensively, but one of the strongest players defensively. The New York Rangers will really miss him. This young man, Radek Bonk, is just full of speed and abilities to just get a lot better in the National Hockey League. There you see the opportunity by Lehtinen. Roman Turek was standing his ground. Looked pretty calm and cool.
That was earlier in the power play. Lehtinen came breaking in on the left-hand side, his off wing, and got a decent chance on the backhand. Puck cleared back. Weber pounds it up around the boards. Olanen couldn't keep it in. Teams back at even strength. Janne Ojanen up after that puck. Number 80 poking at it. Fired back in by Mika Stromberg. Comes back out. Pass up ahead for Long. Dancing in over the blue line. Long to the outside. Looking around. Drops it down low into the corner. They circle around. Kuchera picks it up. Yuri Kuchera tried to get it back to the net for Long, but it was grabbed and held by Kari Taco. And it will get a little milling about after the whistle. 16 minutes and 52 seconds to play in period number 1. Zeros between the Czech Republic and Finland.
You mentioned about Robert Long. I think Robert Long is just going to have a good National Hockey League season coming up. Ludi Buchek knows that his hands are full with all of these veteran National Hockey League players, and he hasn't had a long time to put them together.
Puck down into the corner. Lume. Up ahead to Nieminen. Clears it up ahead. Jari Kurri trying to come in over the blue line. Hammerlick not letting him get very far out of his sight. Ruutu couldn't get it across in front, and here comes Robert Long in over the blue line. Ruchinski up there with him. Tried to drop it back. Ruchinski went for the front of the net. Reichel tried to pound it on goal. He gets another chance. Reichel centered it, but it went off his skate, and the Finns regroup quickly, led by Christian Ruutu. Cross ice for Lume. Takes it off the boards and hops in over the blue line. Lume battles his way by Hammerlick. Gets it up around back of the net. Ruutu was looking for it, and it's broken up by Reichel. Slager Gets it up ahead. Long shot by Hammerluck. Taco, no problem stopping those from that range. And here's Kiprasov. He'll throw it up. The Czechs on a change. The Finns come back quickly. Peltonen going towards the front of the net. Up there after the rebound was Saku Koivu. He's got it back of the goal. Tried to get it in front. Peltonen forging away along the boards. Trying to hoe it away from Jagr. Comes up around Sikora. Got it up around and out. Jagr's coming down the right side. This is Holik with the puck. Holik into the corner. Jagr comes up there to join him, buzzing around, back of the net. Here's Jagr, spinning, gets a weak shot away and couldn't hit the mark. Jagr being watched very closely. He is so dangerous out there. He's out there with Nedved and Holik. Here's Peter Nedved, looking with Jagr going to the front of the net. Nedved up for Holik, up for Jagr. Tried to get it across in front. Weber was up there, didn't land on his stick. And the Finns will control. This is Saku Koivu. Couldn't get much past center. Yuri Weber with it now. Weber gets it up ahead to a streaking Josef Baranek coming down the left wing. He'll fly up there after it. Couldn't get there in time. Delivered a good hit along the boards, however, on the forecheck. Yanni Laukkanen feeling that. Pass comes up ahead. Peeling in now. Riihijärvi to the forehand. Couldn't get the shot away. Riihijärvi tried to bulldoze his way in, coming in on the left side, and found the door shut, as was that one on Baranek. But Baranek is back up. Here he comes with a shot. He didn't miss by much. Great second effort by Baranek. Riihijärvi just pounds that puck down the ice. And Turek out to play it. It is not no-touch icing, as is the norm in international hockey. It is NHL rules. Here's Baranek. It's been a long shift for him. He'll just dump it in from the blue line and peel back to the bench.
But Baranek has probably had the best scoring opportunity in this game thus far.
He was hit along the boards and got right back up and into the play. Here comes Radek. Bonk scores! Radek Bonk gets the Czech Republic on the board as he blistered a shot past Taco.
Well, that took the enthusiasm out of this crowd here in Helsinki early in this hockey game. There you see the giveaway. Right there in the neutral zone by Jyrki Lumme. Lumme doesn't do that often. Bonk was the man that ended up with a good scoring position. Taco got a piece of it, but that's all he got of it. Just a piece of it. Bonk had lots of time. He saw that there was room, glove side. Taco got a piece of it. The puck, that is, he got a little bit more than he bargained for after the puck was already in.
7:02, the time of the goal. And the Czech Republic grabbing the lead. Radek Bonk gets it. 1-0. You're watching the World Cup of Hockey. And welcome back to the ice hall here in Helsinki, Finland. It is 1-0. The Czech Republic is leading. Radek Bonk scoring an unassisted goal.
The Finns with their kid line out there right now. Koivu at center.
And firing it right on goal off the faceoff. Turek was tested there. There was some speculation that Peter Briza was going to start this game instead of Turek. There was a feeling Turek had not played himself into shape as of yet. But there he is out there, the gold medal goalie from the World Championship. He had just a great tournament. Rachinski takes the scenic route around, tried to tuck it out in front for Long. Long will steal it. Looking around in front of the goal, Reichel's up there with him. Rachinski shooting, juggled and batted away by Taco. Acrobatic stop there by Taco. Here's Long, rolled it across in front of the net. That goes all the way across. Verda gets it out to center, and he'll just chop it down into Czech territory.
I mentioned about Long maybe having a great season coming up. People might laugh at that with only 6 goals in the NHL last year, but what a World Championships he had. Led the Czech team to the gold.
Yolonen up there along the boards, gets it loose for Riihijärvi, centered it in front of the net. That's fired through a crowd and didn't hit the target. Mika Stromberg had the chance. Jagr breaking back to Nedved. Nedved up along the boards, gets it back to Jágr. Now it hops away from him into the corner. Yolonen clears it up. That's knocked down. But not for long. Yolonen dropped it. Solane shoots. Rebound. Yolonen centers it in front. Järvi is stopped. That was blocked in the crease. Pounded on goal there by Nina. Great pressure by the Finns. Čurek has grabbed his stick and has recovered his balance. We'll see if the Czechs can recover their poise. Niinema with a shot. That's knocked down. And Vikukul just fires it down the ice. And icing is called in the Czech Republic. Great pressure by Finland, but they still trail 1-0. Teemu Selanne with the great chance, but Finland, no goals yet.
Good wrist shot by Selanne right from the slot, the best scoring position. But Roman Turek, if he's out of shape, he hasn't looked it so far in this hockey game. He has been very sharp. He had to scramble to recover after that save on Teemu Selanne.
Great pressure generated by Finland. Juha Yolonen buzzing around up there. Number 25, Selanne had a chance. Järvi was out in front. Off the faceoff, Jani Ojanen tried to get a shot on goal. That's knocked away. Here's Hammerlick. Knocked down by Niinema. Fires it up to the blue line. Ojanen pokes it through, looking towards the front of the net. Kapanen was going for the front of the goal, but he couldn't get it to him. Here's Kapanen back of the goal. Tried to feed Ojanen. Sami Kapanen along the boards. Puck bounces back, and Niinema has to hurry into position. Pass comes up ahead for Baranek, but that's broken up. Here's Ojanen, in on goal, shoots, screen shot. He used Netcash as the screen, but Turek was equal to the task. Here's Ojanen. Back in the net, centered it in front, fired by Kiprasov, rebound, swept away. Sikora got to it. Delayed penalty coming up against the Czech Republic, and Finland will get another chance on the power play.
Ojanen with a good opportunity. Kiprasov with a big opportunity. But Roman Turek continues to stand up. He makes it look easy. He just gets his big body in front of that puck. Yuri Slager heading off to the penalty box. The Finns will be able to continue their pressure on the power play.
Turek just signed a contract with the Dallas Stars, so you can expect to see him trying to crack an NHL lineup for the upcoming year. Look at this chance for Ojanen.
Watch the way that Turek stood up. He was able to deflect that puck off to the left. He had to get ready because more pressure was underway by the Finns.
And the more experienced Jani Ojanen using the 20-year-old youngster Netcash as the screen there. Taco drops it off. Second power play chance of the hockey game for Finland. 1-0, the Czech Republic leading. Lehtinen throws it all the way across. Koivu just lurking down in front of the net. Now he drops into the corner and takes the pass. Here's Koivu looking towards the front. Kiprasov has moved well in from the point. Puck in front, scores! Vili Peltonen ties it up. A power play goal for Finland, and we are tied at 1.
Well, not the kind of goal that Turek would like to have seen gone in. That puck just took that crazy little hop and ended up sneaking in by the post. This young Finnish line, the kid line, the three they call Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Peltonen, Koivu, and Lehtinen are a young, fast line that Coach Kurt Lidstrom put out there to get things going. That they did. I want to know which one's Huey, which one's Louie, and which one's Dewey. But they're having fun with that here with the media in Finland.
Offside called on Finland. Peltonen gets the goal. Koivu picks up the assist. It's funny how that translates quite well from Finnish to English, namely because there is no translation. It's still Huey, Dewey, and Louie, even in Finnish. Although that's about the only finish that I can read.
Couple of interesting lines, though, because Kurt Lidstrom has got that young kid's line. Then he's got his line with Ruutu, Helminen, and Curry. He's called them the 100-year-old line because when you add their ages up, that's exactly what it amounts to. Curry is 36, Helminen 34, and Ruutu 30, soon to be 31.
1-1 hockey game, Radek Bonk. Puck comes up ahead, Solane with a shot, rebound, scores! Yolonen. Juha Yolonen, and just like that, Finland grabs the lead, 2-1.
Well, you follow if you do, in fact, follow Timo Solani to the net. Good things might happen. If he doesn't score, just follow up. Look for that rebound. That's exactly what happened. Yolonen did that, and as a result, he's put the Finns up by a goal.
2 goals in 20 seconds. Peltonen at 9:36, Yolonen at 9:56. Solane picks up the assist in the second goal, and it is 2-1. Finland takes the lead.
Finland are showing signs now that they have got a little bit more confidence in their finishing off abilities and are going to the net. They're trying to test Roman Turek more.
And there's a problem with the net down in the Czech zone. That's the delay.
It's a very warm night here in Helsinki. It's raining outside, it's warm inside, but the players, before the game tonight, when they were loosening up, it looked as though they were ready to give an all-out effort. There's a real battle between these two hockey clubs.
Here comes Ojanen, and over the blue line, gets it across in front. Turek makes the save, and he will hang on as the net is dislodged. And the Finns are flying. Sami Kapanen coming down the right side had that chance.
And I say that about the players before the game because they were talking about how the fact that you can't afford to lose a game in this tournament. The Finns just keep on going. Turek knows now that he's going to see a lot of the Finns coming at him, and that net got dislodged as the Finns were trying to jam that puck in. That's the man that was trying to do it, Kapanen. 35 games for Hartford this past season. He had 5 goals, 14 assists. Kind of split the season between Hartford and Springfield.
Although he missed a lot of the season with injuries sustained in a collision during training camp about 1 year ago. Just past the halfway point of the period, Solane scores! Teemu Solane, right off the faceoff.
Number 8 from the center. Who's the faceoff?
Whoa, are the Finns on fire right now, right off of the draw. A clean win and back to Solane and in. Turek didn't even know what happened here. Yolanen just wins the draw, and before Turek knew what happened, the puck was in the net. Solane just with a big wrist shot. He just moved right in, right at the top of the circle, and as soon as he got that puck, he let a tremendous wrist shot go.
And Roman Turek seems as though he wants to lead the game as soon as that goal was scored. As we look at the goal scorer, Solane, Turek skated to the bench, turned around and headed back to the net because the coach did not give him any indication that he would be pulling him. And finally, Turek, it appears, is pulling himself from this game. Peter Brija will come in off the bench.
Well, Mike Keenan, the coach of the St. Louis Blues, is here tonight. I wonder what he thinks about that, Paul. A goaltender pulling himself.
Unusual for a Mike Keenan team. Usually he's the man with the hook.
Well, it's caught Peter Brisa a little by surprise, so it's taking him a while to get ready.
3 goals in 39 seconds. Peltonen at 9:36, Yolonen at 9:56, Solane at 10:15. remarkably, the most valuable player at the World Championship, Roman Turek, folds up like a house of cards, and Peter Brisa has to come in to replace the Czech goaltender.
So Jari Kurri will now be looking down at Peter Brisa. Brisa was a backup in the '87 Canada Cup. Played in the '88 Olympics, the '89 Worlds. He was the best goaltender in the '93 Worlds, and he better be a great goaltender right now if the Czechs are going to get out of this big hole they're in.
As a coach, how did you feel if a goaltender came over to pull himself? Puck knocked down and fired up wide of the net there by Dopita.
Can't ever remember that happening, Paul. You'd have to ask a more experienced coach.
Hammerlick.
They only ever pulled themselves if they were injured. That is the question. Is Turek injured? He's not. He has not gone to the dressing room. He's just sitting on the bench.
Hammerlick skating back after it. 3-1, Finland on top. After Radek Bonk scored the first goal of the game for the Czech Republic. Dopita coming in, dropped it back. Sikora couldn't get it on goal. That's fired up there on net by Slager, but it was knocked away.
I can maybe surmise, though, that this is a pretty close Czech team. They like each other. They do a lot of things together in the offseason. He may have pulled himself simply because he wasn't pleased with his performance, didn't want to let his teammates down.
Puck steered down to the corner. Kiprasov gets there for Finland. Trying to work it out. Kuchera up forechecking. Sikora stripped of the puck. Koivu coming in. Koivu looking for Lehtinen going towards the front of the net. Peltonen's up there too. Gets it up and around. Verda trying to work it out in front. Koivu chopping it around back of the goal. Netzcash. Netzcash can't get it out. Here's Koivu cutting in. Koivu back of the goal. Takes the scenic route, centers it in front. It's knocked away. And a penalty coming up. And it is going to go against the Czech Republic. Yuri Kuchera will head to the box. More trouble for the Czechs.
You will be called private, specialist, or sergeant. Beneath the ribbons on your chest will be the souls of those who came before. You will be an individual, but triumph as a team. You will know strength, courage, and compassion. You will win what must be won, achieve what must be done. Be all that you can be. You will be a soldier.
On the gridiron, on the ice, we've got you covered this weekend on Prime Sports. Saturday morning at 10:30, college football kicks off. Miami at Memphis. At 2, World Cup of Hockey action. Russia takes on Slovakia. Then at 5:15, back to football. Missouri meets Texas. Sunday morning at 9, more hockey. Finland against Sweden. And Sunday at 5, Team Canada battles it out with Team Slovakia. Yes, we've got you covered with all the action this weekend on Prime Sports.
Well, the Czechs are in bigger trouble. Down by a couple of goals. They've got to find a way back in. Turek won't likely be back in as he sits on the bench. The Czechs have got to kill this penalty off right now. Kuchera in the penalty box. He hauled down Peltonen. It was really Koivu that put the pressure on the Czechs by his great puck handling abilities behind the net, setting up the play in front. Kuchera drew the penalty.
8:07 to play in the first period. 3-1, Finland leading the Czech Republic. Radek Bonk scored for the Czechs first, but Finland coming back with 3 goals in 39 seconds. And Peter Brisa in off the bench to play goal for the Czech Republic. And now face this Finnish power play. Juha Rihijärvi clears it up. Solane looking for it. Solane has one of the Finnish goals. Curry at the blue line. Works it up for Solane. Solane looking around. Ylönen's parked in front. Here's Solane. Shoots. Ripped that one wide. Puck comes up around. Lume gets it over there for Ylönen. Ylönen. Lume with a shot. Scores! Lume took the shot. Rihijärvi may have tipped it. A power play goal puts Finland up 4-1, and the rout is on in the early going.
Oh, these Finnish fans are enjoying this.
I think it was 21 for me.
Taking it to the Czechs. There's Lume with the big booming shot. That puck was deflected all right, but by the Czech player coming in front. Hamrlik looks as though he deflected that puck right in past his own goaltender. Not much doubt about it after watching that replay.
Lume gets credit for the goal. It comes on the power play, and Finland is leading by a score of 4-1.
This is starting to look like men against boys out there right now. The Finnish team really well balanced and really motivated.
Reichel cleared it across for Long, knocked away from him. Niinema up after it. Here comes Long, up to center. Up there with Topide, he'll clear it in. Reichel up there as well. Long trying to work the puck loose. Reichel circling in front. It doesn't come to him, and play whistle down. A penalty coming up against Finland. It's going to be a high sticking call.
The man that scored the goal, Jyrki Lume, is going to be heading to the penalty box for that high stick.
He caught Martin Rucinski.
Accidental as it was, watch this. Lume's stick came right up, hit Rucinski right in the face. Well, this might give the Czechs a little bit of an opportunity, but I'll tell you what, Paul, this Czech team right now looks as though obviously they're in big trouble on the scoreboard, but they're just not playing well together. You know, I spent quite a bit of time before the game tonight talking to both coaches. The one thing that Ludi Bucek kept referring to is the fact that this team is made up of a lot of great talent, but a lot of individuals. They don't really play a system, he said. Difficult to coach them without any question. They're playing that way on the ice right now.
Here's Peter Nedved. Jágr is just out of your picture on the near side. The puck will come down to him now. Here's Jágr. Trying to work it in front, but picked up by Jani Laukkanen. He gets it down the ice. 1:40 to go on the power play for the Czech Republic. Finland leading 4-1.
Kurt Lidstrom, on the other hand, the coach of the Finnish team, was praising his players as to how disciplined they've been and what a good team he kept emphasizing they are right now, thinking and playing together.
Here comes Hamrlik. Up to center, gets it across. Nedved negotiates the blue line, just dropped it off up there. Jágr into the corner. Holik up there with him. Hamrlik shooting. That's stopped, and Taco will hang on to it. Lots of traffic around Kari Taco, but kept a bead on that puck, and no rebound forthcoming.
Taco had a little bit of work early in this first period, but hasn't had much as of late, so all of a sudden he's getting an opportunity to feel the puck again. Roman Hamrlik with a big shot from the point. Had the opportunity to tee that one up. Unfortunately, Bobby Holik wasn't able to get in front and create the screen just well enough. He was there. He was trying his best. Wasn't able to take the sight line away from Taco.
Kiprasov couldn't get it out. Reichel fired at it. Bounced off of the glove of Hannu Virta. Virta watching his man along the boards. Back to Reichel again. Across for Hamrlik. Shooting. Taco got a piece of that. Hamrlik will reload. 49 seconds left in the power play for the Czech Republic. Reichel looking. Tried to dodge around one player and lost the puck, and back comes Sami Kapanen. Kapanen tried to center it. Shoots. And Brisa will hang on to it. Kapanen was trying to get it across in front to Jani Ojanen and ended up having to take the shot himself. Brisa with a nice stop.
Well, things aren't looking good for the Czechs in any department. All of a sudden, a miscue, they give the puck up, and once again, they find themselves in trouble. The Finns just keep coming at the net. The Czech net has been bombarded to an extent. Not like in the game that we saw last night in Stockholm, where the Swedes were all over the show of the evening. And the show of the evening last night was obviously Olaf Kolzig. Tonight, Turek has already been chased from the net. Now it's Peter Brisa's turn.
And Brisa pulls that one down off the top shelf as it was fired in off the faceoff by Mika Stromberg. 26 seconds left in the Czech power play. 4-1, Finland leading the Czech Republic. Taco couldn't nail that down. Laukkanen hammers it up around the boards, but not out. Picked up Kuchera shooting. That comes off the glass. Kuchera up after it, bumping with Stromberg. Trying to work that puck loose. Picked up again here by Laukkanen, and this time he makes sure and gets the puck down the ice. Nets Cash back to pick it up with 4 seconds left in the power play. So a solid kill by the Finns. The team's back at even strength. Straka in over the blue line, gets it across, trying to walk up there was Kuchera, but he was stripped of the puck. Teams all even up. Hannu Virta in over the blue line. Offside is called on Finland. Finland leading 4-1 here in the first period.
All right. This is it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
That was only the first out of the game.
Make it a Bud Light.
That's a real beaver?
Dodge Ram has won a lot of awards from a lot of experts, from a lot of magazines. But according to a survey of new vehicle owners by Strategic Vision, Ram is also winner of the Total Quality Award for Best Owner Experience in its class for the 2nd year in a row. An award from the most important truck experts of all, the people who make the payments. Dodge Ram. The rules have changed.
Gary, you talked about motivation for this Finnish team. Off the top of the show, mentioning the fact that expectations really high when it comes to this team, and you wonder how much that motivates them or is motivating them in this tournament. Puck cleared up ahead. Holik gets it in over the blue line. He'll charge up after it, knocked out of the way. Holik was going for it, but a nice lunge by Jyrki Lumme to break up the scoring chance, and Lumme with the puck now. Flipped into the corner. Koivu up after it. Muscled his man off the puck. Koivu trying to get it in front. He's up there with Lehtinen. Holik clears it up ahead. Jagr looking for some room on the right side. He'll storm in there, and Jagr couldn't get around Niinema. And that was quite a play by Niinema, because Jagr is one of the best in the game at protecting the puck. Here's Solane in front of the net, and that's knocked away. Hammerlick was there with the answer. Here's Solane again. Big chance, big stop. And the puck knocked aside. Vikukul gets it out. Baranek scoots it in over the blue line for the Czech Republic. Puck fired up around the boards. Slager knocked it down with a shot. Taco grabs it and holds on.
The Czechs look as though they're playing a little bit of summer hockey here still. Jaromir Jagr, when he broke in, he just didn't have the speed and the zip that we know that he has got. It's early, obviously, for these players. Jagr, as I mentioned earlier, was suffering from a throat infection, and so he just joined the hockey club yesterday. Meanwhile, the Finns looked as though they have been playing together for months. They are in top form. Jagr did have 4 exhibition games that he arranged himself, really, in early August, and it was called Team Jagr. It was all for charity.
Similar to the endeavor that he undertook during the lockout last year, when he took a team of pros through the Czech Republic to raise money for charity.
That's exactly what he did this time, for sick kids and those in need.
Hannu Virta slides it all the way back for Laukkanen. Teams at even strength. Finland with a 4-1 lead. The big outburst for Finland. 3 goals in 39 seconds. Laukkanen clears it in. Up there after it, Helminen. Up for Curry, bounced away from him. Ruutu jabbing at that puck, number 22 for Finland. Here comes Sikora. Peter Sikora winds in over the blue line. And the Czechs in a change, so he's pretty much a man alone.
Great Finnish defense, too. They're standing up at the blue line, making it difficult for the Czechs.
Here's Reichel. He comes off the boards with that puck. Reichel looking for some help. Centered it in front, went off a skate, and a penalty coming up against Finland. Reichel working that puck around, was trying to feed it in front to Raczynski, and a penalty coming up. That is Mika Stromberg heading off, and the Czechs will get a late period power play, trailing 4-1.
Remo Helminen all of a sudden ended up with a puck and skated right in front of his net, but the whistle had already gone. Stromberg picks up the penalty for this. What do you call it? Mugging, obstruction, call it whatever you want. He's gone for a couple of minutes. Mika Stromberg was Quebec's 10th pick back in 1990, and he is very familiar with this rink. He plays for Jokerit.
This is the home rink actually for two teams. Jokerit, one of them, which translates into literally jokers. A powerhouse in Europe. They're the European Cup champions the last 2 years running. And that is a cup tournament between all of the European League champions, similar to the Cup Winners' Cup in soccer. Off the face-off, Holik trying to get it out in front to Jágr. Jágr looks around. Not much traffic in front of Taco. Jágr had a good clear shot, and Taco had a good clear view and was just able to hang on to it.
Jágr didn't have much room to shoot because Taco stood up, took down the angle, and Jágr was left a little defenseless. He didn't have anyone really to go to, as you could see right here. The line of passing wasn't good, so he decided to put that puck on the net in the hopes that Nedved would get out there a little bit sooner. Nedved could have created a screen had he reacted a little bit sooner.
Puck comes back out to the line off the drop. Slager trying to get it up on goal. Works it ahead. Peter Nedved tried to get it to Jágr, and that's broken up. 1:30 to go on the power play. 1:37 to play in this first period. 4-1, Finland leading.
Peter Nedved actually just rejoined the team on Sunday as well. He just played one exhibition game.
Puck fired in just wide of the net there by Hammerlick. Slager at the line. He works it up. Here's Jágr. Jágr looking. Gets it back for Nedved. Nedved, 1:05 to go on the power play. Nedved still. Tucks it across. Hammerlick shooting. That stop. Rebound comes out for Jágr. Looking in front. Shoots. Taco, stop that. Puck will bounce to the corner. Holik after it. Trying to slide it back down there for Nedved, who's low in the corner. Hammerlick waiting. Passing. Slager shooting. That's tipped wide into the corner. Jágr up after it. Here's Slager. Nedved. 30 seconds left in the power play. Slager up to Hammerlick. In front for Nedved. Shoots. Hammerlick again. 20 seconds left in the power play. Nedved moving in towards the front of the net. Jágr tried to get it out to him. Holik was up there too. He jabs at the puck. Lume can't get it out. Here's Jágr. Tried to tuck it in the short side. Gets it back out. Slager up to Jágr. He shoots. That's knocked away. Slager again. Shoots. Rebound. Nedved can't land the payload on the target. And the team's back at even strength as time ticks down in this first period. A great finish for the Finns. A 4-1 lead. Finland with a 3-goal outburst within 39 seconds. That's the difference so far. Finland 4, the Czech Republic 1 after 1.
All right, we're back in the studio now. Very interesting period. The Finns definitely were flying, weren't they?
They were flying. They came out with that energy, but then they got behind, but the poise came out. You had to imagine the veterans on the bench settled them down. Once they got going, they really controlled the North American style. That's what was said about the Finnish team, driving to the net. That's the way they're scoring goals. That's the way they're drawing penalties. A big impact on the first period, driving to the net by the Finns.
The Czech Republic buzzing during that final power play, but they couldn't get it past Taco. We'll be back with more on the New Dodge Intermission Report after this. Stay with us. This is the New Dodge Intermission Report, the World Cup of Hockey. I'm Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox. Finland right now on top of the Czech Republic by the score of 4-1. We talk about all the great stars, and Jaromír Jágr, of course, is one. We saw him quite a bit during that last power play, although the Czech Republic did not score. They had some chances. He's been under the weather. We heard about that. He had that throat infection. Is it going to bother him? Obviously, he might be a little slow right now.
He might be a little bit slow, but you have to give all the credit, I believe, to the Finns. The Finns, the energy level and just the constant pestering of the Czechs. Jágr didn't have much room. You saw one time Jágr tried to take it wide, just an excellent defensive play by one of the Finnish defensemen. The power play at the end, he had some chances. Once again, you talk about a one-on-one usually. The edge usually goes to the defender. With Jágr, you don't want the one-on-one because he can beat you with power, strength, and just pure skill.
If he doesn't have a point so far, he will. Trust us during this tournament. Here are the NHL points leaders the last 3 seasons. We got the flags working too. Jaromir Jágr, number 1.
Way on top of everyone. You see Jágr, and certainly he does it constantly. He is a showman. He loves that aspect of the game where he can show off sometimes. With those names he's above, really truly shows you. And again, there's the puck protection, the strength, the balance. That's the type of goal he lives for. He wants to do it. Pretty good hands. Maybe the best hands, back and forth, the reach and the size of Jágr coming out. Again, the Finns did a great job in the first period, keeping him under control.
I want to go back to Jágr for just a second. Individually, we see what a great skilled player he is, but he's got such a wonderful supporting cast in Pittsburgh. Does he have an equal supporting cast, you think, right now on his national team?
Well, I think with a player like Jágr, he's going to see so much ice time anyway that it really doesn't matter in that instance. Of course, when he's playing with Mario Lemieux in Pittsburgh, you get some of the pressure taken off you. At the end of that period, we just saw he was out on the power play, expected to go at it. The first period, I didn't notice any ill effects from his illness. He had a throat infection, just joined the team yesterday. That's what Gary Green told us. So he can get back onto the edge. But the type of superstar players, they don't need much time. They come back off an injury and illness, they're right back in the lineup.
If you are part of the Finn fan club, you're going to want to stick around because when Jimmy and I come back here on the new Dodge Intermission Report, we'll have highlights from the first period. And yes, the Finns were flying. It's 4-1 after the first period. Stay with us. It's the World Cup of Hockey. Our new Dodge Intermission Report for the World Cup of Hockey. We certainly hope you're enjoying our presentation. Coast to coast, little hockey for you here in the summer. It is 4-1 right now, the Finns over the Czech Republic. Time to look at our highlights, and a lot of Finnish highlights, but Czechoslovakia, well, the Czech Republic started it out.
Outstanding play by both teams to start the game. Helsinki, Finland. There's the turnover. Lume gets caught right there. Now watch Bonk. He's a left-hand shot on the right side, perfect shooting position, blast, and he starts the scoring. Big giveaway there by Lume, but it did not affect the Finnish team. They come right back. They get a power play feed from behind the net. Peltonen right there on the doorstep, bangs it home. North American style, NHL style, driving to the net. You see the rebound right there. Ulanen puts it in. Finland out in front, 2-1. A few seconds later, off the face-off, Solani. Look at him lean right into that.
Oh.
Talk about transferring weight. Off the face-off, wrist shot, great fundamentals by Solani. Talked about the confidence of Turek coming into the game. Well, it's not working. He's been pulled. Lume with a long shot later in the period. Maybe a deflection, something going on there. Finland certainly takes control. The Mountain Dew first period stats, 3-goal lead for Finland. The shots on goal, Finland out there. Look at the scoring chance. More than doubling up. 2 power play goals for Finland. And again, I think Finland are creating a lot of those power plays with that NHL style we've been talking about. You see it more and more now. Don't want to overemphasize the styles, but the NHL style is to drive to the net. They scored a couple of goals that way, and they drew some penalties that way.
Much different game than yesterday when we had no score after one. It is 4-1. Mention again, Finland over the Czech Republic after the first period. Back with more on the new Dodge Intermission Report after this. Welcome back, everybody. You are, as we say, dialed in. This is the new Dodge Intermission Report. Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox. 4-1, Finland on top. Well, it's a Canadian game. You're a Canadian, but a long time ago, the world really caught up. There's a lot of great players around the world, and when you look at the past 5 World Championships, it really tells the story.
Well, there's no doubt there has been a lot of changes around the hockey world. The breakup of the Eastern European states, the former Soviet Union, now Russia, you can see with that change, everything has changed. 5 different winners in the last 5 years. Czechs and the Finns the last couple of years, we mentioned that. Canada swung in there in the World Championships, Russia and Sweden. So with the breakup, everyone gets to spread around. And I think every year, the interesting thing that happens, Bill, is that the team that wins it, everyone kind of copies their style, tries to copy it so that they will win the next year. And it keeps changing back and forth. but the opportunity, as we mentioned yesterday, at the World Championships, most of the NHL players are not there because of the conflict in schedules. That's not the case with the World Cup of Hockey. You have the best players playing the game.
First Canada Cup since 1991 is literally what we're seeing here. Let's go over the format once again for you if you're not familiar with it. There are 2 pools, 4 teams in each pool. One team goes home after they all play each other. One team gets a bye as we go into the next round. When you go into the next round, it's single elimination until we get to the final where it's best 2 out of 3. So obviously it's important not only obviously to win your games, but goal differentials count and to play well because you want to get that bye going into the next round.
And Bill, I think it's a totally different situation with the tournament format. The Europeans have an advantage there because they're used to it more so. The reason I bring it up, well, they're used to playing a maximum in this format of 8 games. They can really focus in on certain situations. That bye could be important to the first place team in each pool because, again, they get away from that single elimination until the final game, the semifinal games. Well, the North Americans, take a Lindros, for instance. He has to get ready for an NHL schedule, play 82 games, bang hard every night. Well, in this tournament, he maybe can focus a little more, play a lot more intense, which may fit his style because, again, even if you go all the way and play as many games as possible, that only makes 8 games. Settle down, focus, and play hard out every night.
And NHL rules, NHL refs, NHL-size rinks most of the time. Going to take another break. Be back with more on the new Dodge Intermission Report. 4-1, Finland on top. See you in a minute. Report. We'll have the start of the second period in just a couple of moments. I'm Bill McDonald. By the way, Jim Fox will be with you all the way through this tournament. He'll be on site in about a week or so. He's looking forward to that. And some of the games that Jimmy will be covering, of course, Team USA. Here's their schedule coming up. Their first, the inaugural, the debut, coming up on Saturday. Hey, why not? Let's throw them in against the Canadians. That'll be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. They get Russia on Monday, and then Slovakia. If there's an easy game in the group, it would be Slovakia, of course, and that's coming up on Tuesday. All games coming up live for you. Those are your times. Check them out. All right, let's get into the second period. Speaking of checking it out, what about the Czech Republic? They're down by 3 goals.
One thing the Czechs tried to do near the end of the first period was use their advantage in size. The forwards with the Czech team are bigger than the smallish Finnish defensemen. So you saw it near the end there. The Czechs had a power play, have guys like Jágr, Nedved trying wraparounds from behind the net, trying to use the bigger body position. I think they have to try to do that more. And again, if possible, you hear about it in the NHL quite a bit, the low rotation, just putting the puck to a safe spot, having someone jump on it. Don't take it to the front until you're absolutely sure. But again, I think the Czechs, if they're going to get back into this game, they have to win it in the trenches. They have to use their size advantage.
All right, we're set to go. Let's go back to the rink in Helsinki. 4-1, Finland on top.
And welcome back. I'm Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green, and you talk about motivation. Lots of it for this Finnish team. But what about pride? When does that start to kick in for what appears to be a very undermotivated Czech team?
Well, it better be this period, Paul, or they're really going to be in a deeper situation than they are already. The guy that can lead them is Jaromír Jágr, and he's on the ice right now. He does not like to lose.
And they are losing big time right now. Finland dominating that first period. They had the extra jump, got to the loose pucks, had the better scoring chances. Right on down the line. Here's Nedved. Couldn't knock the pass down. Jágr out there with him. Holik tried to knock it down. Holik fires it in. Jágr and Nedved move up after it. Stromberg sends it up around the boards for Finland all the way down the ice. Hammerlick skates back. And Finland with a few changes in the fly. Long couldn't knock that pass down for the Czech Republic. Stepping in over the blue line. Kiprasov rolls that in. That's knocked aside. Peter Brija in goal for the Czech Republic, coming on in relief of Roman Turek, who appeared to pull himself after he had 4 fired by him in quick succession in that first period. Brija trying to knock it away. A scramble around the goal. Koivu was down there. And we'll get a face-off as Lettinen was eventually tackled.
Well, the Czechs finished off the first period with some good pressure. they were expected to come out and start it off that way in the second period. Roman Hamrlik battling for the puck, but the Finns in the first period battled harder for those pucks. They went to the net exactly the way that they are doing to start this second period off. They ended up out shooting the Czechs 25-14 in that first period of play. The Czechs, by the way, are the home team in this game.
Netzcash sends it up around the board. Solane couldn't knock that down. Here's Lume. Reichel up to pressure him. Robert Reichel back of the goal. Looking for some help in front. Raczynski up there with him. He couldn't get it to him. And Solane is away up through the middle, coming up to the blue line there with Ylonen. Ylonen, number 25 along the board. Solane up there battling away, trying to come up with it against Netzcash. All the way back out. Niinema shoots. That's kicked away. A generous rebound comes out, and Robert Lang gets it up ahead to Reichel. Shoots off the boards. Lang going for the net. So is Raczynski. Neither could come up with it. And here comes Timo Solane. Solane cuts in, gets to the outside, centers it. That's stopped by Friese. He will hang on. Solane flying down the left wing. Tucked it out there. And Ylonen had the good scoring chance.
Once again, Ylonen smart enough to know that if he just follows up ice a little late on Solane, some things are going to happen. Solane just walked around his man, passed that puck right back to Ylonen, and Ylonen was quick to get that shot away. Peter Friese coming up with a good save. The Finns have had a balanced attack right from the very drop of the puck in the first period. The Czechs have been beating really to their own drummer in this hockey game tonight.
Ylonen with a couple of points in that first period. Actually 3 points, a goal and 2 assists. And the puck just cleared down the ice. Laukkanen back there to pick it up, and icing called in the Czech Republic. We are early in the second period. Game 2 of the World Cup of Hockey. Finland leading the Czech Republic 4-1.
I'll tell you what Ludwig Bucek did. He knew he had a difficult task in order to get this team to play well together. So what he did is he put guys together that he felt liked each other, had some history together. Nedved and Jágr, of course, playing together, but they play together for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Jágr and Holick used to play with each other in junior. The line of Long, Reichel, and Raczynski played in the same club team together, and Baranek and Dopita played together during the NHL strike. He was trying to keep people together who, in fact, liked each other. That's a difficult task, and not one that necessarily a lot of coaches would agree to, but Bucek right now has got some difficulties.
Long pass up ahead. Bonk was trying to tightrope along the blue line. Couldn't pick it up. Back in comes Ojanen, shooting. Scores! Jani Ojanen. And it's 5-1 Finland.
I don't know about the assist.
Well, any hopes that the Czechs may have had in this second period to make a comeback may have been exhausted on that play. Peter Friese just fumbled that puck. That should not have gone in from this angle. Just a wrist shot. Friese saw it coming, and he just missed it. A little piece, and that was it. Ojanen with a good wrist shot, but not one that he would have expected to score on.
Ojanen gets the goal at 2:23. We talked off the top of the show about the absence of Dominik Hasek, the best goaltender in the NHL for the last 2 years. Do they not miss him?
Of course they miss him, but maybe Hasek knew something about this hockey club, and maybe he knew something about the preparation. Peter Friese is in tough right now. Roman Turek chased himself from the net, and Kurt Lidstrom's team doesn't look as though they're going to let up the least bit.
A very talented Czech team, but not disciplined enough defensively, or so it would appear, to be able to afford less than stellar goaltending. 5-1. And we are early in the second period. Ruutu up there trying to dig it loose. Number 22 for the Finns. Here's Hammerlick. Ruutu gives him a bump along the boards. Trying to squeeze that puck out, but Hammerlick will tie it up, and a face-off coming up in Czech territory.
Well, the only danger the Finns might have right now is the fact of their bench realizing that this game right now is so comfortable with a 4-goal lead that will they stop? Will they cease their motivation? Will they stop going to the net the way that they have been doing right from the very first shift? Maybe highly unlikely though, Paul, because I think that they like this type of hockey and they like taking it to the Czechs in a big way. Revenge from the World Championship.
Finland, the defending gold medalists at this year's World Championship, finished in 5th place. The Czechs skated away with the title. Jagr almost picked up that loose puck. Comes out through center. Holik with him. He couldn't hang on to it. Broken up by Peltonen. Peltonen up ahead. Koivu trying to step along the boards. Koivu being watched by Sikora. Peltonen shoots. That's stopped. And Brisa can't cover it up. It's still loose in front. Koivu gives chase along the boards. He pulled Jagr down. Somewhat embellished by Jagr, and Kerry Fraser, the referee, didn't go for it. And then Jagr pulls down Koivu, and the fans respond to that. Niinema up to the blue line. He's knocked down, and Nedved is going to take a penalty. As Yanni Niinema was pulled down at the blue line, frustration starting to bubble to the surface for the Czech Republic team. Hang on tight. I think the wheels are starting to come off this game.
Well, the Czechs look frustrated, and for good reason. They're being humiliated right now. Peter Nedved's in the penalty box. 2 minutes for cross-checking was the call on him. And he also kind of swung his stick in the air after that call was made, a sign of frustration.
Lume sends it across. Here's Solane. Curry hanging back there at the blue line. Puck pops by him, and Lume will pick it up. Curry, of course, normally a forward. You'll see him, as you do in the NHL at times, drop back and play the point during the power play. He is the veteran captain of this Finnish team, and he leads the attack up to the blue line. Curry dishing off to Solane, and Curry will drop back to the point. Got there in time to keep it in. Over for Lume. Lume keeps it in. Just flicks it in, and Brisa will hang on to it. 1:20 to go on the power play.
We're talking about Jari Kurri, and there's no question that his leadership on this hockey club is so important. Great defensively, great offensively. He has shown that throughout his career. 7th time all-time goal scoring list right now in the National Hockey League. He was the 3rd player in National Hockey League history to score 70 or more goals. That was back in '85. And the New York Rangers, as I mentioned earlier, are going to really miss him, Paul, because he was dominant for them in the playoffs last year. He's going back to California.
Be playing with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Peltonen slides it down low. Here's Curry. Pardon me, that's Koivu. Koivu looks around, drops it down low, off the boards. Peltonen after it. Peltonen back out to the blue line. Verda gets it up. Koivu shoots. And fired that one well wide of the target. Verda with it. 50 seconds left in the Finnish power play. Here comes Verda. Shoots off the post, and it bounced down, and Brisa hanging on to it. Verda had him beat.
Verda was looking for that top corner glove side. I think even he thought that he had it for a moment. Hanno Verda, you would recall, was Buffalo's 2nd pick way back in '81. When he waltzed into the zone, he was on his forehand side. So as he turned to get himself into a better scoring position, watch the angle. He didn't go deep. He moved. He saw a little bit of room, glove side up high, and he went for it.
Puck comes back to Lume. 40 seconds left in the power play for Finland. 14:35 to play in the 2nd period. 5-1, Finland leading the Czech Republic. Finland in action again tomorrow here in this building against Germany. Here comes Solane. Rihi-Järvi, number 29, up there to help out. Here's Curry, ready, set, shot. Fire that one wide. Dopita, long pass, got it up ahead. Kuchera comes in, back for Dopita. The Czech short-handed. Dopita curling around, tried to center it. Taco scoops it away. Penalized player back onto the ice. The teams all even up. Finland leading 5-1. Ulonen fights his way in over the blue line. Ulonen trying to work it across for Solane. He'll come over after it now. Weber for the Czech Republic. Taps it up ahead. Holik was looking for it. Yuri Kuchera comes in, fires that one up off the glass. Nieminen gets it cross ice. Laukkanen tried to get away. He was knocked down. Netzcash spins away with that puck and sends it up, and it goes off the netting above the glass. So play is whistled down with 13:20 to go in the second period. The Finns up 5-1.
Jani Laukkanen was just determined that he was going to break into the zone. That's the determination the Finns have shown, and we've yet to see it from the Czechs. Jaromir Jagr made no bones about it. At the early part of, well, today, prior to the game, he just felt that it was going to be tough for him out there tonight, having just joined this hockey club and having coming off some illness. The Czechs can't seem to get anything going offensively out there, and it doesn't look good for this man.
And Stromberg couldn't keep it in. Mika Stromberg sends it now back into Czech territory. Netzcash moves it up. Nedved is out there, and he'll take it on the fly. Steps in over the blue line. Holik up there with him. Pass was directed away from him by Kapanen. Sikora gets back there, and icing is called on Finland. Played about 7 minutes of this second period. Finland leading the Czech Republic 5-1.
Coming out to join him at the game here tonight. It's about 105 degrees in this arena. That's not exactly the outfit that I would have chosen to come and watch this hockey game.
You left that one in the closet, did you? Off the draw, puck comes in front. Hammerlick with a good chance as he stepped right up from the left point off the draw. And a good test for Kari Taco, the Finnish goaltender.
Well, Taco's done what he's had to do in this game thus far. He had a little bit of action early in the first period, not much after that until the latter part. Hammerlick right here tests him again. He was looking for the 5-hole. Hammerlick, the great offensive defenseman from the Tampa Bay Lightning, moved right in, but there was no way he found any room past Kari Taco.
And this is the combination here one would think could possibly spark any kind of a Czech comeback. Hopes as faint as they may be. Jagr, Nedved, and Holik up front. And Hammerlick back at the blue line. Reichel also back there. Puck knocked down. Drop pass moving in is Niinema. And that is stopped by Breeza. Jani Niinema walked right in.
He walked right by Jaromir Jagr as well. Jagr is just not into this hockey game right now. Hasn't got the jump and the speed that we know he has. Niinema just walked right past him, blew by him, and was able to get the scoring opportunity.
Right down Main Street. Watch this. Unmolested.
That was Jagr behind him, and Jagr just stopped skating. It can be difficult for the Czechs to get back into this hockey game unless they also concentrate on their defense.
Up back of the net, Saku Koivu. Trying to roll off the Czech and get it in front. Here's Koivu. He's got it. Koivu can't get the shot away, but he plays it back. Great effort by Saku Koivu as he burrows his way into the corner. Still going after that puck. Finally, it's pulled away and fired down the ice. Racing back after it, Hannu Virta gets there. Icing is called on the Czechs.
Well, the Finns are reading each other very well out there in the ice. Koivu with a magnificent show out there of stick handling. Lehtinen knew exactly what he should do. He should look for a little bit of open ice. There he ran the pick. There you see Koivu with the puck. He seemed to have it forever. Now watch what Lehtinen does. He just follows the puck right there, picks it up, and keeps the pressure on the Czechs. The Finns are not only playing a determined style, they're playing an aggressive, disciplined style. That's why they have the big lead right now.
Off the draw, and almost unloading that one was Teemu Selanne. Five to 1 hockey game. Finland on top. Laukkanen plays it up. Riihijärvi couldn't knock the pass down. And touching it up there was Vaikukko. Icing is called on Finland.
You mentioned about the Finnish hockey club that didn't have a good showing this year at the World Championships. The year before it was just the opposite, and no better place could they have ever done it than, of course, were their arch rivals right in Stockholm. The year before, in '94, they almost thought that they had a better team than they had in '95, and that was the year, of course, in Milan that they ended up losing the gold medal to Canada in a shootout. Not a great way to lose a hockey game and a championship and a gold medal. Canada found that out earlier that year.
Vaikukko with a shot. Taco stopped that one. Canada lost the gold medal in the Olympic Games in a shootout to Sweden that year. Peter Nedved, who plays for the Czech Republic in this tournament, was on that Canadian team, silver medal winning team.
Teemu Selanne was racing down that right wing side. He was just looking for the open ice and was bound and determined he was going to get by everyone. They called it offside. Teemu Selanne didn't think so, but I'd go along with the linesman here.
NHL linesman and referee working all the games in this tournament. Kerry Fraser is the referee.
Dan Maruelli and his crew rolled into town today, and they will be assigned to tomorrow night's game here at the same place.
Ray Scapinello and Dan Shakti are on the lines. Here's Hammerlick. At last word, Kerry Fraser was still waiting for his equipment to catch up with him. It was lost coming through London on his way overseas. Slager fires one in. Won't mention the airline.
How'd you like to have to referee a hockey game with somebody else's equipment, skates?
He's wearing the skates of former Swedish veteran referee Dag Olsen. They happen to be the same size. Dag was at the game yesterday in Sweden and gave the skates to Kerry. He said they started to feel normal about the second period, but he had blisters on both feet today. Ruutu backing it around for Niinema. Coming up in the halfway point of the hockey game, 5-1. Finland leading the Czech Republic. Trying to cut in front. Sikora couldn't get a shot away. Holik along the boards. Holik looking for Peter Sikora in front. Nedved out there as well.
You see, when the Czechs were trying to put some pressure on, the Finns were playing disciplined defensive hockey, positional hockey. They have great trust in each other.
The Finns very disciplined, very workmanlike in their efforts so far in this game.
Well, they could save themselves a lot of energy right now, of course, with this huge lead by just playing good, sound defensive hockey.
Five to 1, Finland on top. Here's Hannu Virta. Jagr up there to watch him. Virta, pass gets it up ahead. Peltonen breaks it over the blue line. Flicked that one just wide of the net. Now Nedved drops it for Netzcash. Netzcash up ahead. Holik being pressured there at the line by Lehtinen. Koivu along the boards as well, trying to come away with it. Netzcash. Koivu trying to dig that puck loose. He knocked Jagr down. The fans liking that. Peltonen going after it. Koivu buzzing over there too.
Young Huey, Dewey, and Louie have been putting on a pretty good show tonight in front of their hometown fans, haven't they? They have been applying great disciplined pressure here on the Czechs.
Riihijärvi tried to get it up to Selanne, who almost broke in. Ulonen fires it back in for Finland, and the Finns make a couple of changes in the fly. Riihijärvi now picked up by Solane. Stopped up at the blue line. Reichel couldn't catch up to it. Long moves it up to the line. Lume fires it right back for Finland. And a race for that puck. Ulonen gets up there, but not quite in time. Icing is called on Finland. It is Finland 5, the Czech Republic 1. You're watching the World Cup of Hockey. The best Finnish team ever? Well, some of the fans think so here in Finland. Jury is still very much out. We've barely passed the halfway point of this first game, but Finland looking disciplined and very impressive, up 5-1 against the Czech Republic.
They were playing the Macarena here, trying to get the fans kind of going because the Czechs have somewhat put the fans here asleep.
Long shot by Weber. Lume slides it back. Niinema clears it up ahead. Ojanen gets it up. Ojanen to Niemanen in the corner. In front, Ojanen a couple of chops at it. It's still loose at the side. Ojanen and Niemanen both up there trying to bury it. Now back the other way. Reichel couldn't finish off, and the fans loving that. And a penalty coming up. And in fact, it looks as though a penalty shot has been awarded by the referee, Kerry Fraser.
Penalty shot awarded.
I've never seen the Czechs really play such scattery type of hockey out there right now, but they got a scoring opportunity after these chances by the Finns. The Finns were swarming all over the Czechs. The Czechs looked very undisciplined. But then all of a sudden, the long bomb right up to Reichel, and Reichel lost his balance as he was interfered with by Niinema. And we've got an interesting situation in front of us here. This could be a big goal if Reichel could score.
Penalty shot, Reichel taking it against Kari Taco. Scores! Reichel flipped it up top as Taco backed into the net, and it's 5-2.
Well, that could be something right now that will motivate the Czechs. They need anything right now to get going. Robert Reichel right from the center ice, in all alone, of course, on the penalty shot, and watch Taco. Taco's watching him and trying to move with him. Taco does a good job right here. He didn't commit himself early. That was a perfect shot by Reichel. Reichel went to his backhand high. He knows that Taco covers a lot of room there, and so even when Taco does crouch down a bit, once he makes his move, that there is not much room up top, you've got to go high on Taco. Reichel did exactly that.
Reichel gets the goal on a penalty shot at 12:23. And we'll see if that gives the Czechs some life. Puck fired towards the goal. Straka was going for the net looking for a rebound, but he would have had to have looked way up to pick up a rebound there. The shot was over the goal.
Well, when you're down in a big hole, you've got to look for something that'll get it going. Whether that's a key player on a key shift that all of a sudden creates the momentum for your hockey club, or whether it's a goal. Right now is Yuri Slager, whose father played for the Czech national team, comes to the bench. This Czech team has got to keep the momentum now, shift after shift for a while. Kurt Lidstrom didn't like that.
Puck comes back. Weber with a shot off the drop. Laukkanen picks it up. Can't get it out. Vikuko fires it up. Puck bouncing into the corner. Dopita trying to work it in front. Peter Sikora up there, number 17, gets it to Dopita. Here's Dopita. Baranek can't get a shot on goal. And Lehtinen controls for Finland, just firing it down the ice. Yuri Weber back there to pick it up. And icing is called, pardon me, a penalty coming up. It's going to be an interference call. And it will go against the Czech Republic. So 1 step forward and 2 steps back for the Czech Republic. a goal and a penalty shot by Robert Reichel, and now they will have to kill off another Finnish power play.
Weber's hustling back, but you see the obstruction in front of him by Kuko, ends up with the penalty. Those two played together on the World Championship team just a few months ago. Bukash kept them together for obvious reasons. He also kept Michael Sikora and Neskash together because they were a pair.
Riihijärvi along the boards, working it back towards the blue line. Curry back there with Lume. Meanwhile, Nedved up with Yager, short-handed, shoots. Taco stops that and hangs on. Yager had turned away from the net. Coming up with Nedved short-handed. So nobody could get to that rebound. Not that much of one was given by Taco.
Well, a little bit of spark here by Nedved and Yager. Nedved did some nifty stick handling. He was in too deep before he got that shot off. He really couldn't have made a pass to Yager. That puck was rolling on him, as you will see. So he really just had to bang away at it. Not much danger that that puck was going to go in from that angle.
Puck comes back. Slager shooting. That's stopped by Taco, and he hangs onto it. A hot shot off the stick of Yuri Slager right off the draw.
Peter Nedved's become pretty good at faceoffs, as we will recall. Back in the series against Washington in the first round of playoffs, he was very strong. Peter Nedved won that right back to the point, and then Peter Nedved tried to get to the net, but was hampered on his way there.
Good, quick, low shot by Slager. Nedved up to take the face-off again.
And again, the Czechs are killing off a penalty right now.
1:40 to go in the Finnish power play. Hammerlick skates back to pick it up. Up for Nedved. Nedved stepped away from Koivu, got it ahead to Yager, who will eat up some time. Kiprasov, lead pass up ahead. Peltonen shoots. Here's Koivu. Peltonen trying to get loose in front. Lehtinen down there as well. Hannu Berta shoots. Kiprasov to Peltonen. Around for Koivu. Berta moves it across. Kiprasov, good low drive on goal. That was stopped by Breeza. Here's Hammerlick. Peltonen watching him. Nedved knocking Koivu down, and that gets a rise out of the crowd. Koivu after it in the corner. Nedved in to hit him again, but Koivu was ready for him that time. And they mix it up behind the play. Koivu dumped again. And Hannu Berta chased out of the Czech zone. 36 seconds left in the Finnish power play. 5-2, Finland leading here in the second period. Ulonen almost got it across in front. Solane had a burst of speed going for the front of the goal. Pass up ahead. Ulonen down into the corner. Works it up around. Teemu Solane up there after it. Riihijärvi tried to poke that puck in front. Broken up by Sikora. Lead pass up ahead at the blue line. Raczynski couldn't knock it down. Riihijärvi to Solane to Riihijärvi. Ulonen was going for the front of the net. Niinema gets it up into the corner. That was Solane who lost his balance there. Penalized player is back on. The team's at even strength. Under 5 minutes to play in the second period. Finland is leading by a score of 5-2 against the Czech Republic. And the net dislodged down in Finnish territory, so we get a stoppage. You're watching the World Cup of Hockey.
Now the line of Saku, Koivu, Lehtinen, and Peltonen have been very impressive for the Finns tonight. Koivu and Lehtinen have been the very aggressive forecheckers, while Peltonen has really been playing much more defensively. Koivu, who I think had a very good year last year for the Montreal Canadiens. Maybe some Montreal Canadiens fans expected him to score 76 goals in his first year like Teemu Solane did in his first year in Winnipeg, but I think he was under a lot of pressure and played very well for a young man.
Here's Laukkanen for Finland. Long pass up ahead. Ojanen couldn't catch up to it. Now Ojanen up back of the net. Yanni Oyanen getting roughed up there along the boards, trying to come away with it. Niemanen up there to help out. And they will tie it up, and we'll get a face-off down out to the left of goaltender Peter Brisa.
I don't think there was any question that the Finnish team were going to use their whole bench tonight anyway, but they certainly have had an opportunity to do that.
And this building, the home of some great tradition in Finnish hockey. Jokerit of Finland plays here. There are some of the retired numbers. You'll recognize Matti Hagman, a real hockey legend. He was the first of the Finnish players to go over and play in the National Hockey League, played with the Boston Bruins. And that was in the wake of the 1976 Canada Cup. And I mentioned earlier, Jokerit, one of the teams that plays here, the European Cup champion for the last 2 years in hockey, which is akin to the Cup Winners' Cup in soccer. Of all the championship teams, they play off, and Jokerit has come out on top. Vaibukal gets it up ahead. Kuchera floats that down into the corner. Kuchera just held off the puck there by Lume, picked up by Straka, centers it in front. Taco lunging out there. The puck just fired wide. Taco was hung out to dry. An open net.
And Taco without his stick, Bonk just couldn't get the opportunity he wanted.
Radek Bonk just could not finish off. Jágr breaks in over the blue line. Offside called on the Czech Republic.
Czech switching up their lines just a little bit right now in order to try to get something going. Putting Jágr out there with different line mates. Straka and Bonk trying to get back into this hockey game. You see, Kari Taco came way out. That's when he lost his stick. Bonk ran into the end boards by Christian Ruutu. The Czechs just couldn't finish off.
2:49 to play in the second period. 5-2. Finland leading the Czech Republic. Finland with 4 goals in the first period to carry a 4-1 lead into the second frame. The clubs have traded goals here in period number 2. This is Jágr. Jágr up around back of the net. Josip Baranek up there with him. Baranek is floating loose in front of the goal. And Jágr battling to try to get loose as well. Dopita with it in the corner. Baranek came over to help out, but Lehtinen comes away with it for Finland. Lead pass up ahead. Peltonen will give chase down into the corner. Ville Peltonen gets it out. Koivu waits, shoots, rebound. That's fired just wide of the net. Lehtinen was upended and didn't get the kind of shot away he would have liked.
And Dopita had something to do with that. Dopita for the Czechs was able to get his stick right on that puck, stopping it from going into the empty net.
Icing is called on the Czech Republic. Good pressure again there by Finland. With less than 2 minutes to play in the second period, 1:52 remaining. Finland 5-2 leaders.
Well, all of a sudden again, the young kid line, who have got lots of legs, great strength and youth, they have continued to go right at the Czechs. You might see Kurt Lidstrom tend to rest his 100-year-old line a little bit more in the latter part of this hockey game. Ruutu, Helmanen, and Curry.
2 games still to go in this European pool round robin for the Finns. They play tomorrow night against Germany and then finish up the European pool portion of the schedule with a game against Sweden in Stockholm on the weekend. And what a contest that will be. Sweden and Finland, arch rivals. A tremendous rivalry in international hockey.
Kurt Lidstrom says he never loses in the Globe. Never. We'll hold him to that.
And the puck cleared up. It hit somebody on the Czech bench, so we get a stoppage. Dumped back behind the play, and getting up slowly there is Peter Nedved. It is, as we mentioned earlier, very hot and humid in this building.
This kind of reminds me of the 91 Canada Cup. I think it was about 105 degrees up in the broadcast booth in Pittsburgh for a game, wasn't it? Paul, a very hot summer in North America. And today, a very warm day here in the building.
Well, Finland is the land of the sauna, and it feels as though we're in one up here. 1:36 to go, second period. Finland 5-2 leaders against Peter Nedved and the Czech Republic. Off the draw, Holik trying to work it back into the corner with Nedved. Here's Jágr. So we see this Yager, Holik, Nedved combination together again. Pass up ahead, and that was a two-line pass to Solane.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul. In Finland, after they go into the sauna, they go back out and jump into the snowbank. Show me where there's a snowbank right now, and I'll be gone.
There is not even ice in the drinks over here. It is so warm.
There's the team that you were talking about, the defending champions for the last 2 seasons now, is Jokerit. Jokerit will not be playing in this building next year. They are moving into the brand new Hartwell Arena, which is a fabulous arena, more along the ideas of the National Hockey League. And in fact, you speak about saunas. They have a few saunas right in their skyboxes.
That will be an international size rink, I gather. The ice here being compressed to North American size for this tournament. They did the same at the Globe Arena in Stockholm. Have not done it in Prague, we are told. Here comes Curry in over the blue line. Passes off. Streaking up there is Niinema. And just failed to finish off there. Working well with Curry coming in. Helminen tried to pick it up. A penalty coming up. Less than a minute to go in this second period. Finland 5-2 leaders.
2 minutes for boarding.
And it's a boarding call against number 6, Jani Niinema. So the Czechs with a late period power play.
Jari Kurri with the puck, and Niinema, the offensive defenseman, once again rushing in, but he got more than an offensive opportunity. What he got was a penalty right there.
Talk about a nice start to your international career. Jani Niinema played in his first World Championship in 1995 at the tender age of 19 and won a gold medal. And many players wait an entire career, persevere for an entire career in international hockey and never come away with that World Championship gold. Here comes Dopita. Koivu watching him. They bang along the boards. Lehtinen racing up after, but Breeza takes matters into his own hands. He came out there to head off trouble. Here's Lehtinen. Long picks it up. 19 seconds to play in the period. Czechs on the power play, trailing 5-2. And Nieminen just clears it down the ice. Here's Breeza out again with another adventure. Just got it off the boards. 5 seconds to go in the period. So when period number 3 gets underway, the Czech Republic will be on the power play and trailing Finland by a score of 5-2. Finland 5, the Czech Republic 2 through 2.
Thank you, Paul and Gary. After 2, 5-2, as the gentleman just mentioned. Well, Reichel's penalty shot brings them to within 3, but they're still not creating many chances.
That's exactly right. I think Gary Green called it exactly perfect. He said disciplined pressure by Finland. Finland has understood the atmosphere and the style that needs to be played to hold on to this lead, and they did it very well in the second period. They talked about the Huey, Dewey, and Louie line. They're all over. They're not backing off at the same time. They're pressuring, forechecking, and taking the game, keeping it away from the Czechs.
When our New Dodge Intermission Report continues after this, Jim and I will be listening to Ron Wilson, coach of Team USA. His thoughts after this day. Welcome back. The World Cup of Hockey. It is 5-2 Finland over Czechoslovakia, or the Czech Republic. I keep saying that, Jimmy.
You'll be all right, Bill.
I will be okay. This is the New Dodge Intermission Report. And it's interesting, when you get these international tournaments, the styles and the schemes, they're always talked about. Well, we enlisted, of course, one of the great minds in the game of hockey, Team USA coach Ron Wilson, to talk about the overview of the teams here in World Cup '96.
I think the styles of play have merged, but it's funny, when you put all those Russians or Finns or Swedes together, they seem to come up with a special mix collectively. That's the way their system is in terms of teaching players how to play. But it's really fun to have the opportunity to compete with your countrymen, represent your country in a tournament of this magnitude. And, the Germans play a real NHL grinding style of play. George Kingston's their coach. He's a Canadian. He's coached in the NHL. He's an excellent teacher of the game. They're young, and the Germans play tough hockey. They're a tough team to play against. They play physical, they're defensively well-based, and they're very sound in their own end. They can make life miserable. At the World Championships this year, they beat Canada, actually humiliated the Canadians. World of Hockey now, anybody on any night with good goaltending can beat anybody else if they're not prepared for the game. Sweden plays a very technical, skilled game. I believe in a tournament like this, they'll go back to their trap. There are a lot of fans complaining about the lack of excitement on some nights in the NHL, the dreaded neutral zone trap. Well, it was developed in Sweden, and they play it perfectly. Well, the Finns play a North American style. They like to hit, and they're a very robust, physical type of a team. And yet you'll see and you'll get that feel for European hockey with puck possession at times. They're excellent skaters. They don't skate as well as the Swedes, but they play a little bit tougher in tight situations. And the Czechs this year surprised everybody by winning the World Championship. And when you add in the Jaromir Jagrs and Peter Nedved's on that squad, they can be even more dangerous. Without Hasek in goal, though, there's going to be a question mark, although their goalie Roman Turek, who just signed with Dallas, is a world-class goaltender. If he plays well, the Czechs can be a very dangerous team as well.
Are back. The World Cup of Hockey is being brought to you by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest army in the world. Be all you can be. And by New Speed Stick Gel. It's unbeatable gel protection, just for the guys. Now we're back. I'm Bill McDonald. He's Jim Fox. Sitting out for highlights of the second period. This is the World Cup of Hockey. Finns on top of the Czech Republic.
And much like yesterday, Bill, the excitement around the city. This time it's Helsinki. Teemu Selanne right there. High expectations for the Finns. It doesn't get started that way. Lume, the turnover in the neutral zone. Radek Bonk, watch his shot coming up. Off wing, has the great angle, pulls the trigger right there. Taco gets a piece, but it's the Czechs that take a 1-0 lead. Finns come back, though. NHL style, drive to that. Yes. Ulanen right there, puts in the rebound. 2-1 Finland. They keep going. Fundamentals, lean into that wrist shot. Teemu Selanne, all of a sudden it's 3-1 Finland. We talked about this man, Jaromir Jagr, before the game. He's a little sick. Well, usually one of the best puck protectors. Nice strip there by Niemann. Outstanding play defensively. Jagr just kept off the board. 4-1 Finland after one. Ulanen. Hear that Breeza? Right by him. He whiffed on that one. Bad goal by the goaltender. That's what happens. Frustration coming up. Nedved, cross-check. You just can't hold on. Then a play that may have gotten the Czechs back into the game. Penalty shot. Great skills there by Robert Reichel. Goes right to the top. Kerry Taco again, almost there. All sport stats after 2 periods. The shots on goal. Finland just dominating, keeping it going. The pressure, smart, disciplined play, scoring chances there. And again, those first 2 power play goals scored in the first period.
We are going to take another quick break. When we come back on our coverage of the World Cup of Hockey, we'll talk a little bit about Teemu Selanne. He's already starring in this one for Team Finland. We'll see in a minute. Stay with us. The new Dodge Intermission Report continues with Finland on top, 5-2. We're between the second and third periods. I'm Bill McDonald along with Jim Fox. You know, I'm very fortunate throughout the year to do some work for not only the LA Kings, but the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And when they made that deal towards the playoff run to get Teemu Selanne, I was as excited as everybody else. But the most excited person maybe in the entire organization, Teemu's new head coach. He's Team USA head man Ron Wilson. We asked him about his thoughts on Teemu Selanne.
I would have to rank him as the best Finnish player there is right now, and if he gets the ice time and the right people to play with, he can be very exciting, a tough player to stop, and he loves competing against North Americans. He's a player, unlike a lot of Europeans, who's really built for the NHL. He's a very strong man, very powerful on his feet. He's tough to knock down. He plays an NHL style of game.
Talk about an explosive player, 76 goals in his first year in the entire league, setting records all around in his rookie season. Selanne, the first thing you notice, explosive skating, top-end speed, maybe the fastest in the entire world when he gets to the top end. But Ron Wilson talked about something that makes Teemu Selanne very effective, especially in the North American game. You see the offense, but that's combined with the competitiveness, and most offensive players at times need to be protected in the NHL. They don't play a physical style. Teemu Selanne, You run him, he comes right back to run you, so you're not going to get away with it. You don't have to spend time protecting him. And along with that, he brings the offense.
As we were talking, very similar to a teammate of his, not only on the Mighty Ducks next year, but on this team right now, Jari Kurri. He played a similar game when he was younger. We're going to take a break. When we come back, much more to come. This is the World Cup of Hockey. There's Finland and Germany tomorrow. See you. Intermission report continues. We're going to send it back to Helsinki and Paul and Gary in just a moment, but we want to show you one more time, I don't think we can show you enough, the U.S. schedule. And while we take a look at it, this is a team that's going into this tournament with a lot of confidence.
And, Bill, that's a big difference for the United States. In the past, I think, they were a little afraid to admit that they were getting better on the international scene. Well, this year, the U.S. team, you talk to every player, the U.S. team is talking about how, yeah, they can compete against the Canadians. You go back to the regular season, the NHL schedule, Jeremy Roenick, who may, or he hopefully for the U.S., he can get back and get signed and get into the lineup. But he was talking during the regular season of the NHL saying, we're going to match up in the World Cup during the summer. We're going to go right at the Canadians. Eric Lindros of Canada came back saying, bring them on. But it's that style and attitude that is following the U.S. team right now. They believe they can win for the first time.
All right, we got to go out to Helsinki in the third period. Here we go.
Saku Koivu has been one of the many flying Finns in this hockey game. Welcome back to the ice hall here in Helsinki, Finland, where the hometown Finns with a 5-2 lead heading into the third period. Game number 2 of the World Cup of Hockey. Jaromir Jagr and company, all the offensive might on this Czech team, and it has had a blanket thrown over it.
A little closer in shots on net in that second period. 11-7 in favor of the Finns. It's now 36-21 in favor of the Finns going into this third period of play. The Czechs starting the third period on the power play.
They start off in the power play for the first minute and 5 seconds. So they score, and it's 5-3, and then lots of time to go to get 2. Here comes Jagr. You never know. Jagr battles his way up into the corner. Nedved up there, trying to get it in front. They do. Jagr a shot, and Taco has to stretch, but he hangs on to it.
Well, the Finns wouldn't be foolish enough to know or to think that any team that's got a Jagr and a Nedved and a host of other talented National Hockey League players on it, you can't give them that opportunity to get back into the hockey game. Right there, Kari Taco had to make sure that he gloved that puck and got the stoppage in play. Nedved on the face-off right now. Jagr out there with him.
Here's Jagr. 40 seconds left in the power play. Jagr gets it back out to the blue line. Slager tried to fire it in. Hammerlick under some pressure, and Curry got it away from him and got it out. 30 seconds left in the power play. Up to the blue line. Bit of room for Nedved to come in. Jagr continuing up towards the net. Nedved over to Jagr. Waits, and waited a little bit too long. Kiprasov came sliding over. Nedved. Holik up ahead, and Jagr steps in offside. 6 seconds to go on the power play for the Czech Republic.
That's the problem the Czechs have had. Pretty good example of it. Holik ends up with the puck, doesn't move it to Jagr quickly enough, and Jagr creates the offside out there. Nedved way over on the left. But the Czechs at least were starting to move the puck around a little bit better. Jagr right there just couldn't get the handle on the puck. Kiprasov went down, confused the issue a little bit more, and Jagr ended up not getting a scoring opportunity.
Mika Stromberg takes it off the draw, takes his time, and takes the shot down the ice. Penalized player back on. And here's Peltonen. Stopped up there at the blue line, long. Cross-ice pass, got it over there for Robert Reichel, who fired it in. Peltonen up ahead. Koivu breaking down, hits the line. Koivu ran up against 3 Czech players, still got it in. That's Straka, who has lost his stick. Peltonen gets it back out to the blue line. Fired in, stopped by Brisa. Rebound in front. Koivu was all alone. They couldn't get it to him. Peltonen in front. From the sharp angle, Lehtinen just failed to click. And back come the Czechs. In over the blue line. Baranek rolled that one through the goal crease. Long checked along the boards. Baranek and the flyby couldn't pick it up. We are early in the third period. Finland leading the Czech Republic 5-2. The opening game for both of these teams of this World Cup tournament.
The kid line for the Finns has been fun to watch tonight. Peltonen, Koivu, and Lehtinen. Lots of great forechecking. Great speed out there and finesse.
Ulonen up to the blue line. He was stopped. Back the other way comes Dopita. Up along the boards. Jágr was up there too, but offside is called.
I'm not so sure, though, Paul, that if this Finnish team ends up going to North America after these 3 games here in Europe, that they will want that kid line anyway, having the name of Huey, Dewey, and Louie follow them overseas. I think they just as soon that stays right here in Finland and goes no further.
Well, you've made it a cinch that that won't happen.
Well, the Finnish media have had fun with it the last week, and the coaches are getting a pretty good chuckle out of it as well.
Dopita gets it up ahead. Here comes Rucinski. Rucinski down to Jágr. Dopita up there with him. He'll pick up the loose puck. Dopita back to the blue line. And Weber not able to keep it in. Now he's got a foot race with Teemu Selanne. He wasn't going to win that. And Breezy just played it up and hit the netting above the glass in the corner, and that gets the whistle.
When Teemu Selanne decides he's going to turn on the Jets, no pun intended, away he goes. He looks like he's in top form right now. Last year he scored 40 goals in 79 games. He also had 68 assists. He was the Calder winner, of course, in '93. Kurt Lidstrom couldn't be happier to have his leadership on this hockey club. And talk about a well-liked guy in a country. Teemu Selanne is loved in this country. He does a lot of commercials, endorsements, and he is someone that's very visible in this country in the off-season.
He is placed up on the same athletic pedestal that teammate Jari Kurri occupies, a Finnish hockey legend. Puck rolls down to the corner. Rucinski up after it for the Czechs. Here's Nedved. Centered it in front of the net. Nice pass by Nedved, but it went right out through the slot. Hammerlick couldn't get a shot away. Kapanen starting back. Gets it up ahead for Stromberg. In over the blue line. Stromberg trying to return it back towards the front of the net. Nieminen couldn't get loose, however, and the puck did not arrive. Slager up to the blue line. Flips it in. Nedved moving up there after it. Mika Stromberg. Nieminen. Lead pass up the middle. Tried to send Ojanen off. Here comes Straka. Shoots. Kicked away by Taco. On the good blast off the stick of Martin Straka. Here comes Helminen. In over the blue line. Drops it for Ruutu. Lume shooting. That's kicked away by Breeza. Got just a piece of it, but that was enough. Kapanen tried to center it in front. Curry's up there. Ruutu scores! Christian Ruutu beats Breeza, and it's 6-2 Finland.
Well, poor Peter Breeza must have felt like he was in a shooting gallery out there. The Czechs collapsed in front of him. The Finns put the pressure on. Ruutu ended up going high. He knew that Breeza had fallen, had gone down. Jari Kurri had stormed the net. He didn't end up with the puck. He was watching as Ruutu put it in.
4:02, the time of the goal. Christian Ruutu gets it. And Finland up 6-2. Michael Sikora back after it, and icing called off the faceoff on Finland. Finland with a 6-2 lead. The latest goal scorer, that man right there, Christian Ruutu.
I'm Jim McKay with an update from the 2020 Global Games. Graduated hurdles rose, but Great Britain fell. Nathan Rudder grabbed the ring and the gold for the U.S. Earlier today, Caswell Fowler executed the first perfect 10 multiple board dive.
The world of sports has evolved since all sport. Now with B vitamins, athletes need to unlock carbohydrate energy. It's more than a thirst quencher, it's a body quencher.
Coming up later, the record-breaking 300-meter dolphin relay.
It's September, and we're bringing in the heavy hitters on Prime Sports. Jim Edmonds and the Angels battle it out with the big bats of the AL West. Watch Mark McGuire, Juan Gonzalez, and Ken Griffey Jr. slug it out with the Halos. College football is back. We're loaded with great action from the Big 12 and the Pac-10. And there's hits on the ice with the best in the world competing for the World Cup of Hockey. We're walking the walk and talking the talk, all during September on Prime Sports.
Well, the fans here at the Ice Hall have watched their hockey club tonight just dominate the Czechs. Christian Ruju, the 9-year veteran of the National Hockey League, has scored for the Finns.
Bit of a homecoming of sorts for Ruju. Jager up there after it. 9 years in the NHL. He played last year in the Swedish Elite League.
Yeah, he was the goon in that league last year. He led the league in penalty minutes.
That doesn't fit. Look at this. Right in front of the net. Holik walking right through, untouched, and a penalty coming up now.
Bobby Holik was obstructed in the slot. It's Koivu that's going to the penalty box right now.
So Koivu in the box and the Czechs on the power play. But Bobby Holik just allowed to walk right out from the boards and out through the slot.
Well, Kerry Taco had gone down after he made that save, but Holik couldn't have had a better scoring opportunity. But again, Kerry Taco's a big man, 6'2", 189 pounds. He played in 42 games last year in Finland. He's in good shape, and in this hockey game, he hasn't been overly tested, but when he has looked as though he has got his angles covered well and that he is ripe for the challenge.
See that mask he has on? Painted up with the logo of the Ice Bears of Berlin. Team he plays for in the German league. 1:46 to go on the power play. And they've added, changed an assist on the goal that Ruutu scored. Originally, it was Ruutu from Curry. It is now Ruutu from Kapanen.
That's more like it because Jari Kurri was an innocent bystander, one looking for a rebound that never came out.
Here comes Robert Reichel. Reichel fires it down to the corner. He and Long move up after it, as well as Yuri Dopita. Long just out of the reach of him, and it's cleared down the ice. Hammerlick starting back. 1:17 to go on the power play. Holik and Ruchinski moving up after it. Hammerlick. Chopping it up ahead, but Jani Niinema there to pick it up. Banks it off the boards down the ice. 1 minute to go on the power play.
When the Czechs have had the opportunity in tonight's hockey game to really create some offense, there hasn't been much tape-to-tape action. It's been more individual action, just like this one by Jager.
Jager trying for some end-to-end action as he battles his way up there. Nedved up to help out. And the puck just thrown by Hammerlick and down the ice. 40 seconds to go in the man advantage for the Czech Republic. Trailing 6-2 against Finland.
You think of it in tonight's game. We've seen Nedved with some individual action. Also Jager. Reichel has had the same. Long has attempted that, especially in the first, but no real cohesiveness amongst this Czech team.
This is Nedved dropping it off. Hammerlick was open high in the slot. He's got to race back after it now in a foot race with Kapanen. And he won that. Jager going for the front of the net. Pass comes out to him, and he was tied up by Kiprasov. And play whistle down. Jager took a little chop at that puck after the whistle.
Hooking penalty coming up right now, being called by referee Kerry Fraser. That last shift was a pretty good example of that. Nedved and Jágr out there with the opportunity to make something happen, and with the opportunity perhaps to get that puck back. But you could see that Nedved was falling on the play. That's where the penalty was called, and he just couldn't get that puck back to the waiting Jágr.
16:32 the time of the penalty. And Hannu Verta into the box. Czech Republic will have a two-man advantage basically for this face-off. 1 second remaining in the penalty to Saku Koivu. Realistically, it will take a couple of seconds anyway for Koivu to get out of the box and back into the play. So they'll have a two-man advantage if they can control out the face-off for at least one good scoring chance. Rucinski up along the boards. Koivu is back out there and gets into the play. One-man advantage now, 5-on-4 for the Czechs, trailing 6-2. Rucinski throws it across. Puck pounded towards the net by Weber. Rucinski again. Here's Reichel. Shoots. Tipped in front. Long shot, the rebound wide. And Laukkanen picks it up and gets the puck down the ice. 1:25 left in the power play for the Czech Republic.
Czech have got to really try to put it together the remainder of this third period so that at least losing might be a respectable loss and not a humiliating one as they're facing right now.
Offside pass. And Jágr is looking frustrated and out of sync in this game.
Well, he was concerned about that prior to the game. Just because of the fact that he's only been back for a couple of days and coming off illness, he wasn't sure how he was going to perform tonight.
Looks as though the Czech Republic, or pardon me, Finland, let's wait and see if they sort this out. Somebody has been called for too many men on the ice. And the door is open to the Czech penalty box now. Here's Eric Kuhnhackl, one of the coaches with the German team. A little scouting. The Germans will play Finland tomorrow.
I'm sure the Germans looking on at this game would be preferring to play the Czechs tomorrow than they would the Finns. Rucinski's going to the penalty box to serve the too many men on the ice penalty.
So that will even things up at 4-on-4. Snuffs out the remaining minute 12 of the Czech power play. A little bit of extra room out there. Jágr will try to utilize it, I'm sure, with the slick skating Peter Nedved, who comes in, drops it to Jágr. Jágr moving up. Nedved hanging down in the corner, trying to come up there and work with Jágr. Puck gets by. Knocked across in front by Slager. This is Nieminen. Centers it in front and tipped just wide of the net by Jyrki Lumme, who jumped up to join the rush with Mika Nieminen. This is Nedved winding things up. 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4, and then the Finns will have a power play. Slager clears it in there for the Czech Republic. Here's Koivu. Koivu starting back, winds his way up to center, clears that puck in. Lehtinen moving up there after the forecheck for the Finns. Koivu comes up to join him. He was bounced off the puck, but gets right back in there. Laukkanen throws it across, and it comes outside the blue line. And the Finns now on the power play for the next 45 seconds. And they'll go right to the attack. Koivu heading towards the front of the net with Lehtinen. Back at the line. Laukkanen moves it across. Lumme with a shot. Ripped that one wide. Here's Peltonen. Peltonen drops it down low for Koivu. Peltonen's in front. Laukkanen's in the corner. He'll take it. Laukkanen back to the line. Takes the return feed. Down low to Koivu. Looking. Steps in front and bounced that one wide. Up around the boards. Mika Stromberg clears it up there. Lehtinen. Down to Koivu. In front of the net. Laukkanen was bearing down from the point, but couldn't get to that puck in time. 3 seconds left in the Finnish power play. Koivu is bumped. Laukkanen throws it back. Stromberg shooting right on, and that is stopped and held by Peter Brisha. 10:34 to play in the third period. Finland up 6-2.
Is this your idea of satellite betting at a racetrack? Well, if that's your idea of horse racing, you haven't been to the new Vessels Club at Los Alamitos Racecourse. In the Vessels Club, satellite betting means plush, comfortable chairs, some of the best food in Southern California, and plenty of view-level televisions. The Vessels Club at Los Alamitos, your elegant new home for satellite racing.
On the gridiron, on the ice, we've got you covered this weekend on Prime Sports. Saturday morning at 10:30, college football kicks off Miami at Memphis. At 2, World Cup of Hockey action. Russia takes on Slovakia. Then at 5:15, back to football. Missouri meets Texas. Sunday morning at 9, more hockey. Finland against Sweden. And Sunday at 5, Team Canada battles it out with Team Slovakia. Yes, we've got you covered with all the action this weekend on Prime Sports.
I'm Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green at the Ice Hall in Helsinki, Finland. Great to have you with us for this second game of the World Cup of Hockey. Game 3 coming up tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. The Finns will play the Germans in this building. That's an old 60s television series reference for those of you.
Yeah, I think I do it, Paul.
Born after about 1970. Riihijärvi picks it up. Here comes Solane. He's on the move. He cuts in. Big stop there by Breeza. He was down and stacked him up. Solane right back after it, though. He picks up that puck, trying to tuck it out in front. Solane out there with Riihijärvi and Julonen. They've looked strong, this line. Riihijärvi back to Solane. Look at him. Dance in front of the net. Lume scores! Solane just kept persisting, and eventually Jyrki Lume, the man to cash in. It's 7-2 Finland.
And a perfect shot by Lume as well. No question. Solane put on a great show out there of puck handling abilities as he was standing on the doorstep of Peter Breeza. That puck, I don't think Breeza even saw it. Watch this. Breeza was down. Lume just rifled it, and that puck may have deflected, but it went right upstairs, glove side on Peter Breeza. Timo Solane's a fun man to watch, and boy, the Ducks are going to be, I think, exciting to watch next year. You think of Jari Kurri coming to join them, Solane and Paul Kariya.
Lume with his second goal of the hockey game. His team's 7th. 7-2 Finland leading the Czech Republic. Reichel drops it back there for Hammerlick. Lume clears it up. Breeza wrestles that one away. Nieminen up after it. Puck cleared across. Dopita, long shot, no problem for Taco. He's only given up a pair. Hasn't been tested that severely. His team giving him lots to work with.
Well, as we've talked about, Paul, Jaromir Jagr is really the man that the Czechs have to turn to for that leadership. Tonight is not the night for Jaromir Jagr, all things considering. However, for this Finnish team, everyone from Kari Taco on to players like Ruutu and Kurri and Koivu and Lehtinen and Solane, Virta, Laukkanen. They've got leadership all over the ice out there. Every time they are out there as a 5-man unit or are killing a penalty, the Finns have shown great leadership and tremendous determination tonight.
Here's Ruutu. He'll clear it in. That's Cash up off the boards. Holik scoops it up. Kiprasov gets there. Wonder if Montreal fans will be seeing more of Marco Kiprasov. He played 24 games with the Canadiens last year. Offside call. Less than 9 minutes to go. Finland up 7-2.
To the designers of the Dodge Stratus, performance isn't just how a car handles, but what it handles. So along with a rigid frame and modified double wishbone suspension for control, they also developed the biggest trunk in its class. So Stratus isn't just a great driver's car, it's a great packer's car. Dodge Stratus. It's full of answers. Now during the Dodge Summer Clearance, get $1,000 cash savings, 1.9 financing, or a low lease rate.
Hi, I'm Andre Aldridge. Tonight on the Press Box, the Dodgers look to make up ground in the West by traveling east to Montreal. And we'll meet the 1996 edition of the Pittsburgh Steelers. New quarterback, but same steel curtain. It's all tonight, right here on Prime Sports.
Conference USA takes the field with favorite Cincinnati. The Bearcats are pumped and looking to score the conference's first win.
Tulane takes on Cincinnati Friday at 4:30 on Prime Sports.
Peter Briza coming on in relief of the starting goaltender Roman Turek after the Finns fired 4 quick goals past Turek in the first period. Briza has not enjoyed a much better fate. They've fired 3 by him. Lead pass up ahead. Ville Peltonen trying to catch up to it. Number 16 for Finland. Didn't get there first. Icing is called on the Finns.
Well, a very important game here tonight for the Finnish team. They're going to feel very good about their performance unless, of course, they fall apart in the remaining 8 minutes of this hockey game. But it'll give them the motivation, I'm sure, to go on to game number 2 feeling as good as they did about themselves coming into this game. They had a very successful exhibition series. They ended up with a very good, strong training camp. And the motivation was definitely there, and you could see that at the start of this hockey game, but you could feel it in this city. And certainly, as we talked to Kurt Lindstrom before tonight's hockey game, he felt very confident about his team.
Puck comes out in front, walking up Raczynski. Couldn't quite finish off. He got in a little too tight to Taco. Peltonen gets it up and over the blue line. Lehtinen with it. Lehtinen looking for Koivu, gets it back. Niinema waiting still, drops it down to the corner for Koivu. Koivu tried to muscle it in front of the net. Vaikuko broke it up, and the puck fired all the way down the ice there by Peter Sikora. Lume flips it in. Rihiarvi couldn't get there. Straka fires it around the boards. And this is Slager. Yuri Slager, long pass up ahead. Martin Straka giving chase. Taco comes out to play it away from him and gets hung up a little bit. Straka tried to get it out to Radek Bonk, but missed him with the pass. Bonk would have had an empty net. And Briza comes out to play the puck as well. Both goaltenders getting a little daring with the game very much decided. Ulonen thumped along the boards by Hammerlick. It was hammer time. Here's Bonk. Got it up ahead. Straka dropping it off. Finally just lifted in by Kuchera. Not much of a scoring chance at all. Vivoda clears it in. Puck comes back. Netzcash fired that puck wide. Just over 6 minutes to play. And it is 7-2. Finland leading the Czech Republic. Trying to walk out from the corner was Long. He dropped it, and nobody was home to pick it up. Here comes Kapanen. Breaking in. Shoots. All the way up around the boards to Reichel. Long comes in over the blue line. Hammerlick was with him, but that's broken up. Puck cleared back. Kapanen up there again. Dancing across the top of the slot. He was relieved of the puck, and they really opened it up here for a couple of shifts. Weber bumping into his man. Kapanen comes in. Left it there for Ojanen. Got it up tight in the wraparound. The puck off the side of the net. Nieminen trying to stuff it in after Ojanen gave it to him. Niinema clears it up around the boards. Here's Curry. Jágr picks it up. Maybe we're going to get some wide open summer exhibition hockey here to finish things up.
Well, the Czechs are doing a lot of circling in the neutral zone, just trying to find each other, trying to find a little bit of spark, even though they know this game is out of hand. But it would be nice for them going into game 2 to at least end this hockey game with a couple of goals.
Puck cleared up ahead. Jágr trying to come in. Bounced away from him. Lume there to get it for Finland. Under 5 minutes to play. Taco knocked that away. The puck dropping as it got in close to him. This is Nedved. Centers it out in front. Backhand shot. Point blank by Weber. And a nice stop by Taco. One of his best of the game on Yuri Weber, who came darting in from the blue line.
You will be called private, specialist, or sergeant. Beneath the ribbons on your chest will be the souls of those who came before. You will be an individual, but triumph as a team. You will know strength, courage, and compassion. You will win what must be won, achieve what must be done. Be all that you can be. You will be a soldier.
It can't be. I got to see. It is. The 365.
Boss, give a look. Ugye ez egy IBM ThinkPad 365-ös.
Az bizony.
It could be no other. Feel the track point. Feast your eyes on the screen. Can we swing it, boss, huh?
Meglepően olcsó.
Yeah. That's my boss. What a guy, huh?
You almost get the feeling today, talking and listening to a lot of people associated with the Czech team, that there were some difficulties coming into this tournament. The players, maybe because of the environment that they were accustomed to being in Czechoslovakia for so long, Paul, just didn't want to be told how this team was going to run, what they were going to do, and maybe felt that they should be more like the Russians, who were clearly in charge with the outcome of how things were going to be run with their hockey club in this World Tournament.
Can the players coach a team, though? Keeping in mind you're an ex-coach.
Well, in this day and age, Paul, these players have an awful lot of talent and skill and abilities to put things together, and if they want to be uniform about their approach, then they can put on a pretty good show. But the Czechs haven't been able to show in this hockey game anyway that there's any uniformity amongst what they're trying to do right now, and there may be too many people thinking too many different ways with the Czechs.
Dopita scores. Yuri Dopita with a wrist shot that eluded Kerry Taco, and it's 7-3.
Dopita picks up the goal, just a wrist shot, not a good one on Kerry Taco, who may have already counted this game over. But again, maybe the Czechs trying to accomplish what they may have been thinking, score a couple of goals, start getting some finishing off confidence, and Dopita ends up just rifling the puck. Watch, it's on the roll. He just picks it up. It's still rolling when he shoots it. Kerry Taco appeared as though he was already down and leaving way too much room over on his glove side.
16-19, the time of the goal. Peter Sikora picks up an assist. Rihijarvi with a shot, and that is grabbed and held by Briza.
Getting back to your question, Paul, maybe a lot of it. I mean, certainly a team needs a coach, and they need that leadership. They need the strong leadership of the key players. But we're different in North America. We have not been placed in the environment that the Czechs and the Russians have for so many years, in the sense that they were told where to go, how to think, how to play, and what time to be there, and long seasons and long conditioning and training programs. And for them, it's maybe the freedom of having now the control of what they are going to do and what's going to happen.
Well, that was never more evident than in the former Soviet Union, the new Russia, where the players who for so many years worked under Viktor Tikhonov, and as soon as they got the chance, not just internationally, but even in the league, the players basically revolted against Tikhonov and his authority.
But with all that saying, and there you see the move right there by Kiprusov. Let's not forget that this Czech team, many of these same players ended up winning the gold at the World Championships this year. However, there were not the likes of course, the Jagers and the Nedveds on that hockey club.
Ojanen up in the face-off against Robert Long. .305 to go. Ojanen up after that puck. Feathers it across in front of the net. That was Sami Kapanen going hard to the goal, and I mean hard.
Briza really got knocked off balance. I thought he got hit in the head. He lost his stick. The net went flying. And a tough night for Peter Briza.
And a penalty against Michael Sikora.
The Finns have challenged the net, gone to it all night long. That wasn't the way that they have usually been going to the net, but it has shown their aggressiveness at wanting to score tonight, and they have done that from the very start of the hockey game.
Obstruction interference called on Michael Sikora. 17:06 the time of the penalty. Time ticking down in this one. Finland's next game tomorrow against the Germans. Germans losing their opening game against Sweden yesterday by a score of 6-1. So we have seen two lopsided games so far in this tournament. Action underway in the European pool. The North American pool fires it up on Thursday. Puck cleared up ahead. Peltonen trying to pick it up, knock that puck loose. Koivu gets it up along the boards. Lehtinen back to the line. Finland on the power play. Berta shooting. That's knocked away. Koivu trying to get to it. He's being held up. And the puck just fired down the ice by Long.
Well, one of the problems the Czechs had early in this hockey game, though, was the fact that they did not have strong goaltending. Turek looked as though early in the hockey game that after making a couple of good saves, that he would give them a good performance. Then he fell apart.
Solane fired it across. And the puck just chopped on goal by Ulonen.
And you can't win hockey games, and you sure can't win tournaments and be respectable unless you have great goaltending. And a tournament like this, Paul, with all of the best, the dream teams, you've got to have great goaltending.
Here's Lume trying to get it across in front. Lume works it up. 37 seconds left in the Finnish power play. Jágr trying to take off. Lume ties him up. Curry back there to claim the spoils, but he hands it away. Nedved tried to center it in front there for Jágr. Nedved still all the way around. That one was just tipped wide by Lume. Surprised his own goaltender, I'm sure. 13 seconds left in the Finnish power play. Here's Nedved again. Knocked down by Riihijärvi.
Nedved's down, still down, getting up very slowly.
Team's back at even strength. Solane tried to slide it up. And he will hustle back there against Opita. So time ticking down in this one. 39 seconds to go. Rucinski in over the blue line. He drops it off. That's broken up there by Kapanen. Kapanen gets it ahead to Ojanen. Dropped it back. Nieminen shoots it up. That's knocked away by Briza. 19 seconds to go. Pass comes up ahead. Rucinski moving in. Offside is called.
Too many Czechs trying to beat one man. That was a good example of it when Opita tried to beat his man at the blue line, end up turning over the pucks, and the Finns have been very good on their counterattack tonight. No one, I don't believe, Paul, would have thought this game would have been this lopsided. Not on paper, at least. The Czechs have got too many veteran players, a lot of experience, and with the likes of Jágr and Nedved and a host of others, this should have been a very good team with a good hockey game. And we can blame Roman Turek to a degree, but Turek performed very well at the World Championships and led his team.
But lopsided it is. Finland with 4 goals in the first period after falling behind 1-0, dominating 7-3 winners over the Czech Republic in the opening game for both teams of this World Cup tournament.
Thank you, Paul and Gary. Great job as always. Jimmy Fox, it was those 3 goals in 39 seconds. After that, lights out.
The Finnish team building on emotion. They came in, the buildings go wild. They stuck with their game plan. The Finnish team known for driving the net. That's exactly what they did. Then in the second period, very disciplined, smart by the Finns to take the game away. Not necessarily slow thing down, but they really stayed on their game, kept going at it, and they really controlled for the rest of the way.
7-3 final. When we come back after this, we'll give you the numbers. We'll go inside the final stats when we come back after this. The Czech Republic, how about the stats?
Well, the stats really tell the story as far as shots on goal. You can tell who had the puck most of the night. It was Finland. They outshoot the Czech Republic 42-26. The scoring chances well in favor. 3 goals in 39 seconds in the first period. A couple of power play goals. That was very important for Finland. Again, once again, when they established the lead, they controlled the rest of the way because they played very smart.
One more break. When we come back, we'll tell you what's on tap for tomorrow in the World Cup of Hockey. Stay with us, please. Brought to you by All Sport. Now with B vitamins, it's more than a thirst quencher. It's a body quencher. All right, let's get you ready for tomorrow. We will be right back in Helsinki. It'll be Finland versus Germany.
Well, an interesting matchup. I think the first thing that comes to mind is letdown. Can that be the case for Finland? Well, Finland plays with emotion. Germany, a very hard-working team, but the Finnish team has to be on their game to start this game. Otherwise, there may be a letdown.
We'll see you tomorrow. For Paul Romanek, Gary Green, and Jim Fox, I'm Bill McDonald. We got to go. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody, and welcome once again to our coverage of the World Cup of Hockey. I'm Bill McDonald, alongside is Jim Fox. Day 3, we'll get to our game in just a moment, but Jimmy, your impression of the first 2 days of the tournament?